So, having successfully purloined the Chuk-Chuk from the clutches of the Empire, and you're now sitting in a little bit of hyperspace, or a little bit of real space after having popped out of hyperspace, trying to figure out what you're going to do from this point going forward. Having figured out that the Chuk-Chuk is more than it would seem at first glance, and you've all had your extra day to figure out what's what, to relax, to rest, to eat things, to eat many things, and now it is time to snatch. Now, somebody want to give me a percentile roll?
Give me stupid phone. How many tens? Oops. Don't want you. $86.
86? You actually rolled an 86?
Yeah.
Right on. Nobody's obligation kicked in this time. Ladies and gentlemen, you have Dubaka to thank.
Yeah.
All hail.
All hail indeed.
I'll have the fuzzy.
So we have located a galley after having looked about. And,
Let me guess, somebody stripped it of all the usual.
No, it's actually, but it's one of those things where you have to fold out this and fold out that, and so it's easy for people to not to quite realize that it is a galley because portions of it are sort of folded away, but eventually, space-saving measures are adjusted and you now have a galley, so you can cook water without causing an electrical short and electrocuting yourself. And so you have your chosen meal of whatever because it's breakfast time, and you've noticed that Captain Marrow tends to like doing stuff in the morning. So he sits down at the big table on deck 3. All right. So if we want to do this, and I want to do this, I think we should do this. Anybody got any objections to us doing this, other than Dr. Jotano, who made her objections quite plain yesterday? Yes, no, maybe so. Good.
I'm good.
Very well then. Let us get ready. We've already done the initial. Well, I'm not going to send you ahead this time because I don't know who else is looking, and I don't want you to get jumped. Let's just go back and do our thing.
Of course, sorry, clotted boss. I could see where this was going.
You seem almost despondent over it all. Just think, maybe we'll find something else in this cave. Maybe something nice and shiny.
Who wants to collect shiny things?
One never knows. The hyperspace needles shoot towards the ship as you make the jump back to Tatooine space, half expecting to find the Imperial fleet there. But no, Tatooine orbital approach control acknowledges your presence, says have lots of fun. Away you go. So Marrow calls up a couple of charts onto the holographic projector. Well, I think that what we're looking at here is somewhere in the Junlan Wastes. which is a lovely garden spot. Why I often say to myself I'd like to retire there right about the time that I'm going to die. I gotta get a mouse. Basically, the only thing that lives in the jungle and waste, I'm told, are womp rats and Tuscan raiders. Oh, we don't see either one of them, to tell you the truth.
I'll probably see a ship come down, but
Quiet. Just for the record, since we don't know where Stephen is, your Chiss is at something that disagreed with him, and he's now lying in his quarters, moaning. So, after a high-speed pass over quite a bit of Tatooine, he puts an area that he thinks is the area that you're going to, feeds you the coordinates to those areas, to that area, and before you know it, you're essentially setting the ship down in front of a long, narrow crevasse set deep into a heavy rock formation. Step off the. So he looks around. Okay. Well, this is a dig. And the only rule I have is that everybody goes on the dig, especially big brawny people who look like they can dig twice as much as everybody else. This is not a labor detail, it's a dig. Which means that when you need to take a break, you take a break. Which means that I trust the rules of general decency to say that you are not going to gold brick when you should be working. And ultimately, this all runs on the honor system and on the emerging fraternity we feel for each other. Don't you feel an emerging fraternity? Only two people get to stay behind in situations like this. The first one is Sassoon, because Sassoon has issues. The second one is Doki, because you don't want Doki underfoot. Also, he has issues. Doki sometimes leaves the ship. Normally when we don't see him. But he doesn't come along on digs because he's Doki. And Sassoon has issues. And that's all I want to say about that. So, now that we have the area laid in and nailed down, you will all find packs and carrying gear for carrying gear. These things will all be helpfully marked dig equipment. So come along. Now, use your head. Make sure you get lots of water. I don't know if your physiology demands that you drink a lot of water. Whatever your physiology demands that you drink a lot of, bring it. Your physiology demands that you drink water laced with a certain something and left to die somewhere. I'm not a doctor. I am a doctor, and I'm telling you that in this kind of heat, what you like to drink is going to leave you prostrate. What you do with that information is your business. But I enjoy intravenous hydration. And with that, she folds her arms, puts her helmet on before folding her arms, and looks off at a bulkhead someplace.
I learned long ago if we're going to be in the sun for a while to cover one's head, so he grabs a...
I don't think we're going to be in the sun, but I do think it's going to be hot. So...
It's Tatooine. There is nothing on Tatooine that is not hot. Even the air conditioning is hot. It's just less hot than the actual outside.
So let's not think too much about it. Let's just go.
Soaks a sheet in something cold and wraps it around his head.
There we go. I don't think we're going to be in the sun. I really don't. But I do think it's going to be warm. So everybody bring a little bit of extra water on behalf of the Wookiee, because I don't know how much you sweat. I don't even know if you do sweat. I don't know. I'm gonna have to discover how to care for you a little bit at a time. I hope you don't mind about that. So, let's go. And so off you.
Character sheet.
Does somebody want to give Dan his character sheet? You have to have them all.
Gotta catch them all.
I think.
Nope, that's the sniper.
Now you park the ship very close to the entrance of the deep sort of chasm, so there isn't a lot of sunshine that comes down, and that does help quite a bit actually. Every now and then you hear strange noises. A lot of it is sort of the wind whistling through the chasm. Because of the acoustic properties of the rock, there's sort of strange echoes here and there, and every now and then a little rivulet of dust sort of comes down that indicates something above might have disturbed it, or it could have been the wind. Who can say? It's not dark here, it's just shaded, so you can easily see. And you walk for about 3 minutes, all of, before you encounter a pile of sand. Now, one of the things that you figure out, like, in seconds is that whatever is in the rock here, it's messing with a number of your scanners on a magnetic level. It's got a lot of trace magnetic elements in it that make anything but, like, right up front scanning very tricky. It's not impossible, it's just tricky. So, you're sniffing around. Oh boy, oh boy.
Taste the wind, touch
Oh.
the sands.
Yes.
Everything.
Beautiful sand. Oh, like little diamonds. Like little diamonds.
You can actually see for a distance.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. It's great. Big compound eyes just looking around. And, and unlike normal people who get sand in their eyes and have to worry about it, his big compound eyes, he just gets one of them. And he's good. You don't even. The Gan don't even have eyelids. They just have like domes that they see through. So.
Bottle of the clock.
Yep, pretty much. So, pour some water on there. Do it in front of the Tuscan Raiders, drive them nuts. No! You know, wasting water. Not that if you were in front of Tuscan Raiders, you wouldn't have other things to worry about, but. So, you do get to a giant pile of sand that looks almost like much the way a snowdrift might accumulate against a solid surface, like on the wall of a building. And you've got a bit of a hunch. So you take a stick. It's part walking stick, part rock pick. And you sort of... yes. The stone that was in the projected image is under the sand. But the sand is very loose. It's very fine too. Like it's like white sandy beach sand, but slightly darker. So, well, my friends, Marrow sort of adjusts his hat, grabs a shovel, a Mark I digger, and in they go. Is anybody not digging? You're not digging?
No, I'm not, I am digging.
Okay.
I'm shaking my head as in a negative that no, we're all working. Or at least I am.
There we go.
Or the shovel in the back of the head.
Of course, the Gan is like, dig, dig, dig. Ooh, look at that rock. And then somebody has to sort of put their hand on it. Dig, 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 dig.
So we're in a chasm and like several feet of many feet of rock above us.
Not forming a canopy.
No, but
Yeah. So you're in a perfect ambush point. Somebody come along and lobbing thermal detonators.
that's what you see Salem going, oh, fucking hell, we're in a bad place right now. I hate this. So in fact he starts digging harder just to distract himself from
I will just
the
officer
officer.
better,
Are
right?
there any sentient? Were there any
You have
living
to,
things
you have to
within
spend a
Germany?
force point to do that every time you want to do
You
it.
have to roll.
Okay. Cool.
So essentially, yeah, just roll. And if
The
you get
force,
right-
the force on this planet is very, very strange. Even though, but you feel a tug, but it's not from anywhere here, and it's very different because you focused your senses to specifically seek out that which is alive. But the force, from what you've come to understand, is that because of the ubiquity of the force is often it's kind of like, I'm looking in the ocean for the fish, and I know there's an ocean there, but imagine the ocean being able to say, I want you to pay more attention to the water over here than the fish you're looking for. So you're at this particular moment, you're constantly sort of battling against that, because if you were up on the top of this chasm on the flat surface, the force would be pulling you that way. And it's powerful. There's a very powerful pull that way. But that's not what you're looking for right now. Whatever's going on with the force there, that's the force's business. Right now and to answer your question, you are feeling that there is a presence on the other side of this sand, and of course on this side of the rock. You're feeling there's something in there that's alive. Whatever it is, you're not exactly sure, but there's something in there that's alive. Meanwhile, he's speed digging, like he's creating a sandstorm over there.
We have to get in here as fast as possible so our point is actually defendable.
Salem. You're going to dehydrate yourself and die.
This position sucks.
What do you mean this position sucks?
There's one sand raider up there with a thermal detonator. We're all dead.
If there is a sand raider with a thermal detonator, Salem, he'd be twice as likely to kill himself with it.
That's all well and good, but if he comes down with it, that's one thing, but we're still all dead.
All right, but you're going to put yourself in a prostration state. And then Dr. Giotano is going to have to work on you.
Intravenously.
I've had that happen before, don't worry about it. I have too many stories.
Sassoon to be using the ship sensors to figure out if anything
Did
obviously
anyone
nasty is heading
tell
our
him
way.
to do that?
Sassoon? Sassoon is going... Have you guys seen the scene in Full Metal Jacket where Private Pyle, after having been driven crazy, is reassembling his M14 rifle, and he's going, the guide rod fits in the breech. Beautiful. This is what Sassoon does with the engines when he doesn't think you're going to need them for a while. Sassoon has an engine fetish, okay? Sassoon love he them engines. The whole, like, it's like you presented a woman with 3 giant triple D cup breasts to a man who is a breast man. This is how Sassoon feels about the engines. He thinks they're just grand. Not even Doki is that crazy about the engines. He's crazy about other things. So, my point there is that he's probably not too concerned about... As long as he knows the ship is buttoned up, he probably couldn't care less what you guys are going through out there. He barely fits in the cockpit.
Remember? Vanny and Truth have a passing acquaintance on some days.
That's right.
If it makes Salem feel better, I'll say it. I'll pretend that Salem is watching out for us.
Yes, you've probably picked the team member with the greatest affinity to bullshit on a day-to-day basis to try to lie to. But I love the fact that you're trying. That's fantastic. It's kind of like
Getting into an argument with him will also work because it'll distract him.
It's kind of like the 6-year-old who approaches Picasso with his crayon drawing, going, "I did a thing."
But in the if my major goal is to distract Salem, getting into an argument with him about my bald-faced lie works just as well.
She's got really good ears though, because you remember talking to Kefo or to Kefin about the Kyros, because he didn't really know, and you didn't know that much more, but you knew that they had a reputation for being pirates, and you said so. He's like, well, they've got a reputation for being scoundrels and pirates. All you heard from the guy, lies! Filthy lies! Who says such lies? Who wants to fly the ship by themselves? That's what I want to know. Every day it's like a cornucopia. Like you, going slowly mad, trying to dig as fast as you can. Look, just... There is a truth in the universe, and that is that if you're gonna die, you're gonna die. And there's no point getting fussed about it.
If I'm going to die, I'm going to die on my terms.
Probably not. We're not going to just let something happen. We'll put up a good fight, I think. Just relax.
Oh, here we go. Goes back to digging.
The winds do not speak of others nearby.
Yeah, and you would sense it.
Yeah, but I'm not telling you. But
Of course, why the fuck, you know? He's hilarious. Watch him. He's going to kill himself. It's great. I mean, no, all life is sacred. Meanwhile, meanwhile, Dubaka's sitting there with the shovel made for pygmies, right? You're sitting there with this shovel,
one-handed.
you know, and you immediately start looking around for a bigger shovel, wishing Doki was here, and then you could just use him for a scoop. You and him are going to get into a thing because he antagonizes you, and then you antagonize him, and then it's going to end badly. But for now, you got some time. So, but
How effective a vibroax would be as a shovel?
you could give her a shot. I don't know. I would think that the vibrations would shake the sand right off the blade. But whatever.
I don't have to turn it on.
Eventually, you guys do uncover enough of the stone door that Marrow stands there looking at the stone door for a few minutes. And you're not quite sure why he's just standing there looking at the stone door, and then it slowly dawns on the smarter of you first. He doesn't know how he's going to get that shit over either. Well, let's put our back into it. Now Dubaka, what we're going to do is, it's too bad Steven wasn't here because he's actually as strong as Dubaka. Welcome to a characteristic system that has 5 options. And he needed a 5 so that he could carry his rifle. Or he needed a 3, so he could carry his rifle. So it was kind of chosen for him. I think it's silly. I don't think a Chiss is anywhere near as strong as a Wookiee, but we have to work within the limits we're given.
Well, those are just the baseline for them.
There we go. So we're going to use.
In his case, he's exceptional. I'm average.
There we go. That's right. You're the run to the litter. That's what Dubaka means. It means run to the litter. We tell everybody it means defender of the weak, poor, and otherwise innocent, but it actually means little fucker we'd rather leave dying on a tree somewhere.
How the fuck are you still alive?
That's right. So we're gonna use Dubaka as the primary actor here, probably because I think he's got the highest athletics. And if you don't, you probably should.
I've got 1.
Same here.
Okay, so we'll use
He's the Wookiee.
we'll use Dubaka as the primary actor. Now, normally only 1 or 2 at maximum. I think it's either 1 or 2 people can help. But in this case, I will allow up to 3 people to essentially hand over the helping ability, and which will give you 3 boost dice. Now you're doing an athletics check with a difficulty of daunting. Okay, so that's 4 purples.
Just a quick question: does anybody have 2 athletics? Because if they're assisting, you can use the highest strength and the highest skill combined.
I don't have 2 of anything.
Just curious.
No, are you talking about triumph dice or just dice in general?
Yeah.
Because it's efficiency dice, which is your stats.
Athletics. If you have 2 ranks in athletics,
You have 2 triumph dice.
yeah.
The yellow
How many
dice.
boosts
dice.
did you say?
Yes,
3.
Proficiency dice are based
Or
on
green.
stats
Yeah.
as well.
But it's if you have people who are assisting, you can use the highest stat and the highest skill of the person who are assisting to combine those 2. So if you had like a 3 strength and a 3 skill working together, you'd have 3 yellow dice instead of.
That's a lot of dice.
It helps.
Shake them up. So you guys all put your backs into it, except for Jitana, who stands there with her arms folded. I have to dig. I don't have to push.
Alright. So I got 2 successes, 1 failure, 3 advantages, and looks like 3 despair.
Could you show that result to Adam, please?
Well, if I move this, it's going to move. It's going to shake again.
have despair, you'd have to be rolling
Or, sorry,
the red dice.
Disadvantage?
disadvantages. So those two cancel out, so one success.
So that's your that's good enough.
Overall one success.
One success. With
So there's you have to, you guys, and there's dust coming from everywhere. You're really pushing, then eventually you roll the stone forward, and miraculously it doesn't fall, over and crush anybody, but it's open. There's a whoosh of air that comes from inside the area that it has revealed, and well done. Well, looks a little dark in there.
Stop tasting air.
I take my scanner goggles. Click. Night vision.
Fresh, stale.
Mix of both. There's something alive in there. Mushrooms. Hey. Mushrooms. Mushrooms is good. Everyone knows this.
So we're breathing the air.
I have not seen any
natives.
natives.
Ooh. Well, he seems eager. Now, as part of your digging tools, anybody who doesn't have an otherwise means of doing so will at least get a torch that they can attach to their head, real stylish like.
Do we have the actual book?
Yes, we do. Yeah, there is the library. So who here has? So does Dubaka have a lovely miner's light on his head?
No.
Oh, there we go.
I've got goggles.
There we go. So it's pretty musty in here. Pretty musty. There's a corridor, and it looks as though it was sort of carved, but more along the lines of somebody took the natural formations of rock here and just helped them out a little. There's a corridor, pretty big, actually. It's even pretty tall, too. Dubaka has to tilt his head forward a bit, but he doesn't have to stoop. So, yeah, that's pretty tall. You're pretty sure that's because a lot of this area was natural, and because why else would anybody build an over unless they were Wookiees, but that's unlikely. So,
Wookiees don't exactly like desert.
there's enough space in these corridors for you to stand two abreast. And the corridor is otherwise unremarkable. Sand all over the floor. And underneath the sand is rock. So, Marrow goes first. He says, "Is you ready?" Goes in.
I'll follow behind.
With his shovel on his shoulder. And eventually he gets to the corridor, empties out into a chamber about the size of this living room, maybe a little extra on the edges, and it's bare again, except for some sand on an otherwise stone floor, but carved into the walls of this chamber is the characters of a language. I mean, one of the nice things about tattooing is that because there's very little moisture, there's very little desiccation. So the only thing that you have to worry about is general entropy and the wind scouring stuff. There's very wind. I mean, you smell very little fresh air coming through here, so there's probably no wind at all. So a lot of this stuff, while age has taken its toll, a lot of the writing on the wall is very well preserved. So Marrow looks at it, he squints a bit, shakes his head. reaches into his tunic, looks for a couple of, opens up a case, takes his little glasses and puts them on his face.
Did anybody bring any floodlights?
Floodlights? We don't need no floodlights. It would be a good idea if it was a large dig. It's not a bad idea. It's just we don't need them right now. Anyways, come here, come look. Oh, look at that.
I assume it's some Jawa language, or
It looks a bit like Jawa, but it looks like something else too. Oh. And he looks along the wall and stuff. Past a certain point, he sort of waffles back and forth between teacher mode, look at this, and oh, I've discovered something, and suddenly nobody else matters and exists. And so he takes a little brush with the softest hair on it. And I said, no! Dust. Takes a hanky out.
an archaeologist with allergies? Never thought I'd see the day.
I know.
Bless you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. This, I believe, is a specimen of the formal written language of the Kumunga people. I know it sounds like a very, very strange name, but the Kumunga people, could I borrow your data pad for a minute? He goes into the cache of your, the last time you looked up you have a database thing. Like, there's no galaxy spanning internet, but every planet has its own database. It has its own. Think of it as every planet has its own Encyclopedia Britannica that you can take copies of with you. And so he looks through and he looks through. And here we go. Those of you that ain't never seen before. These is what we think the Kumunga people look like. You guys can activate the screen and have a look. It's, you're more than welcome to pick it up, look at it, turn it around. Just be careful with it, that's all.
That's what Jawas look like? Guess I've never seen one under the rug.
Well, actually, the Kumunga are not Jawas. They are considered by most scholars to be the people that the Jawas came from. You see, the Kumunga people were enslaved by the Infinite Empire, which was crewed mostly by a rather nasty group of people called the Rakata. But the Kumunga were, well, as many slave races do, they eventually got just fed right up. And they decided to, at least the ones on Tatooine, decided to throw off the yokes of their oppressors and such. And in return, the Infinite Empire sent a fleet of battle cruisers and glassed the once lush planet of Tatooine. And eventually that glass sort of ground away over time into sand, and thus we're left with the Tatooine we have now. But that's very interesting. There hasn't been a Kumunga-related find this intact in quite some time. I'm not overly familiar with the language. It's going to take me a bit of time to put together a working lexicon. But I think I've learned everything this particular room can teach us, though. And sort of, you guys came in, and then at a 90-degree angle on another wall of the chamber, there's another corridor, roughly the same shape. Again, more along the lines of not having been carved from the living rock, but having been helped out a little to what was already there. You're seeing sort of little holes and, little cubby holes and connecting small tunnels and stuff and that sort of thing everywhere. Probably. Wouldn't surprise you.
Keep an eye out for one. That'd be tasty.
Yeah. And so you keep moving. The corridor takes a roughly 90-degree turn to the left. And then eventually you get into a chamber that's not much different from the one that you left. including a bunch of writing on the walls, except in this case it's got, you came in this way, there's an exit up ahead, there's an exit to your right and your left. So it's a four-way junction. There's, in addition to the writing and sort of the crumbled dust and stuff, you also see several desiccated womp rat skeletons. Now those of you guys that know anything about the womp rats, they're not rats. The biggest of them can get to be larger than 3 meters, so that's almost 10 feet. And these particular skeletons were obviously litter runts because they're only about 3-4 feet long, and they look like they've been here for a while. But they're writing all over the walls. I mean, Marrow spends 2 seconds looking at the womp rat skeletons and then looks at the writing. Oh, you come and look at this. And, oh, this was some sort of formalized facility, although it wasn't expected to be. It wasn't expected to be the kind of facility that was visited a lot by people. This language is very circumspect in many ways.
Okay. We need to focus here. We're on a time limit.
Are we? I suppose we are. We gotta learn. Listen, the writing on these walls could give us clues as to what's around here. And they could also mention if there happens to be danger. So it's in our best interest to at least know what's going on. Plus, I'm a scholar, and I want to know what it says on these walls.
Hey Gus, was there any photographic equipment or anything like that in the kits?
Yeah.
I pull out one of the cameras, into your chest.
Let's move on.
While they're arguing, I'm sort of circling around, looking a little ways down each of the little tunnels.
One of the little tunnels, the one that would have been on your right when you first came into the chamber, leads to an area that has a number of crumbling fixtures that might have been too low for tables. They might have been beds. These poor people slept on rock. Or maybe out of necessity or something, but they're crumbling. And also, you're pretty sure. Well, when he gets into the chamber, oh yeah, that's desiccated womp rat poop. There and there and there, and almost indistinguishable from like wetted clump sand. But since this isn't the kind of environment where you would find clump sand, it's womp rat poop.
There's no extra writing on these walls?
No, hardly any actually.
Take pictures of any writing that is there, and keep looking to see if there's an exit off of this chamber.
Off the chamber that you're in right now, no. When you go to the chamber that's directly ahead of you from the junction chamber, like when you first come in the junction chamber, there's an entrance that's directly ahead of you. You have to push your way past what's left of what was once a stone door. I mean, you touch it and half of it just crumbles away. There's a lot of there's a lot of sand here. You suspect there was more furniture, but if you had to guess, maybe an old storage area of some kind. Tough to tell. Again, everything here is very primitive, very fallen apart. Stuff to. It's got to have been thousands of years for the rock to just worn away like this. It has to have been, which makes sense because if they're talking about, I mean, your clan elders are talking about, the Infinite Empire and spooky. Apparently the Rakata were fucking mean customers. Part of the way they made their way was they took advantage of the Force, but to the Rakata didn't recognize the capacity for the Force to be light side or dark side, so they made use of the Force the way they felt like it, and they kind of ignored some of the inherent problems in indulging in the dark side of the Force. their hyperdrives, for instance, were force-based. But what that meant was that they could only go to places that were very strong on the force. So while they had an enormous empire, there were huge gaps in between planets. The planets that they could claim because their hyperdrives just couldn't get there. So, but yeah, so this would have had to have been thousands and thousands of years ago, which makes sense. I mean, it takes a long time for a glass planet to turn to sand. Everybody knows this. So, but that's that chamber. Now, when you came in, of course, there's the last sort of corner, and that's a much longer corridor. You can't easily see the end of that. Marrow is like, Mr. Impatience, we can now go. I assume you've had a look around these other areas?
Yeah, got some pictures of the couple bits of writing in that first chamber.
Fair enough. I thank you for your assistance in the matter. Come along, we shall continue.
I take point.
Eventually, the corridor branches off right and left. Marrow sort of oozes past you and heads to the left-hand branch. And if you follow him, which I assume that you will, the chamber is not very big. Maybe about the size of twice of the downstairs bathroom. The walls here are covered in writing as well, but the characters are much, much smaller. And Marrow looks at it. This was some kind of prayer chamber, some kind of meditation chamber. Yeah, the Kamunga would come in here and I guess kneel there. There's a raised section that's sort of crumbling. And on the raised section that's crumbling is a dead Jawa. Very dead. Long time dead. Like normal brownish robe, stone gray, long dead Jawa. He's holding something in his long dead hand.
Take a picture of it.
And it's shiny. Marrow looks down. Takes out a little stylus. Pokes at the thing, and the Jawa's hand just crumbles. And what's in the Jawa's hand sort of rolls down towards him. Picks it up. It's a gemstone or something of some kind. And well, you're familiar with booty. Why don't you check it out using a
Booty roll.
That's right.
Got a skill for booty?
Is that under the custom skills now?
Why, Professor, what's another name for pile of treasure?
That's booty.
What's
booty?
Booty.
Booty.
Well, I think it's a booty.
Booty. It's booty.
Booty.
Worst comes to worst, you can just throw your intellect at it.
Education is the default skill for things that don't fall into anything else.
That's true. But if you got some nice lore, if you got any nice lore,
I have a yellow
let
and a green in my education, where I only have 2 green in my lore.
4 dice to roll in all of my intelligence scores. And I'm educated, so I have 1 yellow.
well, we'll start with Angela, since the Kiros garner all sorts of things from their perfectly legitimate dealings with other races. Pirates, filthy lies.
You might be calling him Kyros. I had it written as Kairos because the line of Kairos she's from is pronounced Kyros.
You're absolutely right, Angela. Could we get a dice roll out of you before we get ancient?
Of course. What is it?
I don't know. If you couldn't find anything that you think, we use education. What's your education's paired with intellect, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your intellect?
3.
Okay, so we'll start with 3 green dice. What's your education?
take ranks in.
None? You're rolling your 3 green dice.
Okay. Huh, 1 eye.
You're rolling the X-Wing dice. You're rolling the X-Wing dice.
Yeah, that's.
Just for that, I'm actually going to give you a difficulty now. It's 3 purples.
Fine. So I grabbed the wrong green dice, sorry.
But on the good news, your X-Wing got right behind that TIE fighter.
TIE fighter smoked.
She's such a pilot, she even rolls X-Wing dice for her RPG. That's how good a pilot she is.
First, I really should have taken talk the talk. I could have gotten 2 yellows and a green.
But she still hates Y-Wings. I'll explain later.
Everybody
By the way,
hates
so
Y-Wings.
We didn't use up our destiny points last session.
Rickety
Never
boats.
used them up.
Hmm?
Never used them up. They're fluid.
No, I know, but I mean, like, we barely touched them last session. That's what I'm saying.
Of course you didn't, because General Grievous wasn't here.
Alright, rolling the actual proper dice. Assuming that you didn't actually.
Nothing.
Well, it could have been worse. You're
Well,
like...
sorry, there is no difficulty. So, sorry.
There's no difficulty.
There's
You
no
didn't tell me
difficulty
what the
dice.
difficulty was when I was
Just rolling the 3.
scrolling
Oh,
through the
okay, well,
dice.
probably better that I didn't, because at this point you'd have given yourself disadvantages and probably had a fit or something.
So 2 successes and 2 advantages.
Is that? I thought it said net 0.
That's because I thought one of the symbols was like failures, but there's nothing on there to fail.
It's a Shurn crystal. It's a Shurn crystal. It's some companies use them in place of certain other types of crystals for electronics, beam focusing. But the way this one is cut, it's a jewel grade Shurn crystal because it's cut the same way that the way diamonds are cut with the sort of the tapering on the bottom. I don't know what the name is for that cut, but that's the kind of cut it is. And it's like, it's a big Shurn crystal, and it's been polished and cut. It's very difficult to polish a Shurn crystal. It's very difficult. You need a plasma cutter, and you need like either droids to do it, and you need specially built droids because the average droid will shave a fucking inch off the thing and ruin your Shurn crystal. But the Verpine are actually very good at polishing Shurn crystals. They use smaller polished Shurn crystals in some of their shipbuilding. But a jeweler has taken this Shurn crystal, and you can tell there's some crud stuck to the bottom of it. Now, Shurn crystals aren't as hard as diamond, but they're close. There's some crud stuck to the bottom of it, which could be some sort of mounting adhesive. Maybe. Tough to say. So it's quite likely that this little fucker popped it out of a piece of jewelry and then ran in here somehow. Somehow he got in here. A closer look at the body, though. Like Jotano's been looking at the body, poking at it. All right. So Dr. Jotano is looking at the Jawa body. Everybody roll up your sleeves. Up. You too.
Just look at my arms.
Obviously not. Let's play a little game where neither you or I are stupid, shall we? While we're playing, she fiddles with a few things. She opens up a case that's the Orabesh on the back says rare vaccines. I wouldn't give you anything that was going to hurt you.
Good luck with hurting me.
Oh, quite. You can't quite see the sardonic attitude through the tea mask of the armor she wears, but you can hear it in her voice. She takes the bottle. Tink, 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 tink. Marrow's like, "You're polluting an archaeological site. Don't do that. If you pack it in, pack it out. That goes for all of you now." Oh. And as she inoculates the rest of you, the desiccated body showed signs of grey rot. It's a plague carried by womp rats. You're immune. And believe me, it's something that you want to be inoculated against rather than treated for. You're welcome.
If you inoculate yourself.
Already dead. It's part of a pan inoculation I give myself every 6 months.
Oh, I see.
Any other questions about my medical history, or am I competent enough to practice for you there, my boy?
No, I've just questioned your competency.
Good, let's get on with it, shall we? She puts the pack away. You can smell those mushrooms. They're around here someplace.
I can find one.
They're around here someplace. You can smell them.
Maybe that might.
So now, anyways, I was explaining the Shurin crystal to you, and the reason I was explaining it to you is because it's worth a lot of money. A Shurin crystal that size, that's 6, maybe 8,000 credits on the market if you can find a buyer. But guess what? The Empire has gone and made restricted. The Empire would restrict breathing if they could get away with it, especially for people like you rotten Wookiee that breathes here.
So do you tell us?
I just sort of casually mention to Miro that he's holding a small fortune in that Shurin crystal in his hand.
Well, we'll get to that in a few minutes. Puts it in a bag, closes it. Don't worry, everybody will get a share. If we find something and it's not doesn't obviously belong in a museum, I mean, we might as well live, right? We've got to live. Expenses to pay, right?
Living's good.
Living's good. Beats the alternative.
The Empire wouldn't be coming here for riches. It's got to have a purpose.
Yes, and leaving riches here to rot in the sand is of no purpose either, so we might as well take it.
Do you think it's part of an elaborate trap of some kind?
Could be for a weapon. Some
Could be.
kind of machinery.
It looks extremely useful.
Somebody went to a lot of trouble to cut it that way.
It looks for a very
Yes,
specific.
but
Looks like
based
it's for a
on
very
Crumbly
specific
here.
purpose.
Nobody's been interested in it for a very, very, very long time. Because Crumbly doesn't get crumbly without there being some form of eon span. Or
I also don't
century
think
span.
anybody's been in here for a very, very long time. In fact,
Yeah.
this might be the last guy left alive.
I'm pretty sure when we watched the little video, they didn't leave him in here. There's probably some other way. I don't think this place is entirely sealed. There are signs of things being alive in here.
The air smells like it's sealed in here, but you could be right.
Well, the fact is you don't get gray rot on your own. It's carried by womp rats.
Which we've seen enough evidence
Ferment tunnels.
that they come here and die.
If we're lucky, they come here and die. Anyways, keep your eyes peeled.
What do they eat?
Well, womp rats really can eat anything.
Including each other. Sorry.
Yes. Smells like mushrooms.
I gotta find me a mushroom.
Find a mushroom. So, now, this little alcove was off to the left-hand side of the corridor that you were on. You can see when you step back out to sort of the four-way junction formed on the corridor by the fact that there's this little alcove on the left and then there's another corridor on the right, and then but you can see further ahead there's a chamber of some kind. It's not very far. So, arrow goes that way.
Process of elimination.
Not just for bathroom visits. So, Now, eventually, you enter into an area that's a little bit bigger than the four-way junction chamber that you were in before you took the long corridor walk to get here. Should probably turn on the little viewer because there's probably turn on the screen. Because there's a bunch of those, about 6 of them. Sort of lying down quietly at peace until you show up.
So, at peace as in sleeping, not as peace as in R.I.P., as in resting.
They're resting. Not quite so much with the resting when you show up, though.
I think we've disturbed somebody's nest.
Alright, now let's have us a fight.
Chitter right back in.
Fighting!
Joys, fights.
Try and pass me the assortment of the dice. Yeah, just an assortment of stuff for rolls later. I'm sure I'll need some.
We give you at least one of everything and 2 of
I can work
most.
from there.
I guess greens and
Yeah, yellow, a couple of greens, a couple of blues, probably a couple of purple. Challenges.
Oh, I forgot to give you guys your 10 for you.
You have enough for yourself now?
Actually, I could keep one myself because Steven didn't show.
It should be one.
Now, initiative in this game system works a little differently from where it has in other games. Give me a sec to write out a couple of things here.
Yep. Boost dice.
Simple works the same.
Success.
Success. Advantage. Just making sure I have the right ones.
I hand wrote a list and then it's among many papers at home that didn't end up getting shuffled into stuff I needed to take. But of course I was already fighting with the bus system and there was no point in going and wasting more time looking for a specific piece of paper.
Yeah. I've got the core book on a stick here, so it's just loaded it up and looked at it.
It's on my computer at home but not on the tablet, so
Dum-dee-dum-dee-dum. There's going to be some womp rat bits flying around in a second. You have any idea how vicious a vibroax is?
Very nice.
I've never seen this
If it's
test
anything
before, but they
like
were pretty horrible.
if it's anything like vibroaxes from other games, they're scary.
They're pretty
Pierce
awful.
2, so it takes away 2 of the target's soak. Sunder, if I get a critical hit, I can break weapons and shields and shit. And I get plus 50%.
Okay, so everybody
On a
needs to
critical
make
roll.
a simple vigilance check.
Cool check.
What's that?
Vigilance or cool.
Excuse me, cool. It's cool, not vigilance. It's cool.
Either or. Cool.
It can't be either or for every situation.
For initiative. Just for initiative.
All right, well, either one, vigilance or cool.
Any difficult associated or just
It's
just a roll
Just,
for
it's just a straight.
Okay. Thank you.
2 successes.
takes 3
3
successes.
successes. What you got? 1 success, 1 advantage.
So 3 successes, right?
Those are 3 advantages.
3 advantages.
You got 3 advantages, Sal?
Yep.
Gand?
3 successes.
Chewbacca?
1 advantage. I think he's going first.
No, successes.
Successes go
Successes
first?
determine the initiative order. Advantages determine whether or not, if there's a tie,
Oh.
who goes first.
Gotcha. Regardless, you're still going before me.
What's cool paired with?
Cool is paired with presence.
Presence.
And vigilance is paired
Will.
with?
Will.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to drop some XP into cool.
Yeah. Yeah. The one guy's not gonna cut it.
Well, I've got 2, but it's just no.
Exactly, that's my racial type.
If I'm supposed to be like a combat guy, I think having an initiative would be good.
Well, you can also put it into vigilance.
That's worse.
Racial dump stat.
Yeah. And willpower for Wookiees. I mean, I don't quite understand that. Like,
They get
Because they lose it easily.
I suppose. Actually, they don't really.
people.
Such a racial stereotype. Racist.
Fair.
Yeah, but
Why? That's
I'd like them to be
that's like saying
horribly
that-
speciesist
All
that they
of your
make their dump
characters
stat
look people.
intelligence.
that's like saying
No,
that's like
that would go completely against canon because Chewbacca is no dummy. I mean, like, come on.
That's why I said,
Yeah,
would,
but he's a
you,
hero.
would you prefer that they did that instead of
Yeah, that's
instead of
true.
Will?
Statistically wise, probably. Because int is not a lot, it's not used in a lot of skills.
It's used, well, it's all the lores and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, he hits people with an axe. It's not used in a lot of skills.
Fair, but
Doesn't matter. Hey, knowing
The
how
Wookiees
to work your way around the underworld is important, okay?
the Wookiees themselves are not exactly primitive.
They live in trees.
Yes, but they're not
Have you seen
exactly
the
primitive.
architecture in Kashyyyk?
oh hey, it's
You gotta be pretty smart to build cities in the trees.
Yes, and that's why they have skilled people who have learned how to do these
They
things.
can do that. It's just minerals are hard to come by given the things that live on the ground in Kashyyyk. Stay
Yeah.
the fuck away.
Pretty much.
The fact that they have an advanced culture where they're basically being able to mine is pretty fucking impressive.
Yep. And besides, they trade for other materials.
Tobin. What did you? What's your initiative?
Success.
I just like the way they portrayed Kashyyyk in Knights of the Old Republic. That was pretty cool. There was technology. There were like trading stations and like computers and stuff, but most of it was trees.
These are the few areas we can keep safe for visitors. They're not lives.
Okay, so basically everybody goes before the Womp Rats do. The reason for this is that, yeah, actually no, it's not. Let me restate. The Womp Rats have no advantages and no successes. So essentially, from what I can tell, that means everybody goes before they do, because even for you people who don't have successes, you have advantages. So yeah, but the way initiative works is that you don't have a strict numerical initiative order. What happens is that if you consider the initiative as a bar with slots, okay, and the enemy, when the enemy goes, creates dividers in those slots. And the spaces between the dividers is when you guys get to go. And you guys decide amongst yourselves who goes when in those spaces between the dividers. Does anybody not understand? Right. Let's say 1 to 8. The enemy goes on a 2, the enemy goes on a 6. So that leaves 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. You guys, amongst yourselves, get to decide who goes on number 1 and who goes on the rest. And once you've gone, okay? But you guys get to decide who goes on the rest amongst yourselves.
Okay.
And I think every round you guys get to redecide, or is it or once the initiative? Wait a minute, it says right here.
Whether it's solid one set or if it's.
But in this case, the wolf rats are going at 8.
Yes.
And we cram in ahead of them.
Now, here's the thing. Once you guys determine the initiative order, okay, it stays for as long as the combat goes. So once you've decided that Dubaka goes on 3, Dubaka always goes on 3, from what I can tell. Now, if it and that sounds very so.
So our initiative rolls are only to determine the group slots as a whole.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we decide how we're going to fill those slots as they come up,
Okay.
and then they're filled.
Okay. How do we want to decide who goes?
The guy with the big action.
It'll depend on the situation. In this situation, probably good to have the guy who...
And then maybe the guy who shoots things unfortunately isn't here, so after that...
Who else is actually carrying some kind of weapon?
Oh, Marrow is, and if you're lucky, he might even take it out and use it.
Yes, I think everybody should be carrying a weapon of some kind, right?
I have 2. I have something that shoots and something that stabs.
So I guess
I
Dubaka,
have my primitive weapons.
there you give her the business.
So it's
Let's
just
go
a,
over truncheon and combat.
I'm guessing just rolling melee.
My vibro knife with the serrated edge. And my pistol
You people who thought money.
with the file now. So it's, well, considering
Now,
it's 500 grams
you get
potential,
an
where's my slicing tools?
action, plus you get a maneuver. Now, here's where the fact that you probably haven't read a lot of the book comes up to kick you in the tits. The maneuvers and the actions are very specific. There's a list of they're more specific if you're flying a ship. Like, they're a lot more specific. But to give you an idea of what counts as a maneuver, maneuvers aren't complex enough to need skill checks, but they do involve time and effort. You're allowed 1 maneuver each turn, and some circumstances might allow for a second one. Here is an ironclad rule. No ship, no person can ever take 2 maneuvers in a turn, no matter what, ever. There is nothing that will give you more than 2 maneuvers in a turn, and 2 maneuvers are extraordinary to begin with. Okay? That's ironclad. Word of God. Examples of maneuvers are aiming a weapon, moving 1 range band closer. You guys are all close range. You don't need to worry about range bands. This is sloppy. Okay?
Are we close or engaged? Those are range bands.
We're probably at short range, because we're not in the face. Short range is several meters.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to have to.
It'd be important for people who aren't using
It goes engaged, short, medium. Yeah, okay. So basically there are 2 range bands to worry about. Short, engaged. They're at engaged. I hate systems that use range bands, but what are you going to do? Open a door, dive behind cover, stand up. What about your dick? I don't know. And now actions are important activities which a character accomplishing and goals. Usually each character perform only 1 action per turn. Usually the most important thing that you're liable to do. Examples of actions: slice a computer, open a lock, fire a weapon, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Presumably drawing your weapon is an action too.
maneuver, I think.
That's a maneuver.
Okay. That is important to know.
Because otherwise...
Yes,
boy.
waste your first round pulling your weapon.
would kind of be dumb.
Yeah.
So, specific maneuvers. Yeah, moving a large item, manage gear, moving, mount or dismount, change your range increment, engage or disengage from an opponent is a maneuver, not an action. Moving within short range. Types of actions, dropping prone, attacking. So essentially what I think is going to have to happen is you're going to spend a maneuver to get within Umi-Gumi range, and then you're going to make breakfast. And then you're going to make breakfast.
That is, I was basically going to say,
Maneuver to engage the target.
Charge forward.
Action to destroy the target.
I like it.
Gooey rabbits everywhere.
Cleave
The
the enemy.
difficulty is...
Tasty rabbits.
There's no dodging, it's just a question of figuring out...
The range
Oh,
will
what the
give
difficulty is?
difficulty.
Depends on if you're using range for weapons, their defense rating otherwise. If you
You're
have-
based on skill, characteristics, any applicable talents and abilities. Difficult of a melee combat check are always average. There we go. So you want to stick 2 purple dices in there, and then take slice wing.
Yeah. Worry about it.
We're gonna learn this the slow and hard way, kids.
Alrighty. And away she goes.
Honestly.
3 successes, 1 triumph, and 1 disadvantage. That's net 3 successes.
Not 3 successes. Now let's consult the handy dandy charts. Hopefully they're good for something. It's amazing, they always put useful stuff on screens except that you might want to need. Now, suffer a strain for your disadvantage.
Yep.
Now, some of the things you can do with your triumph, you can recover 1 strain. You can add a boost die to the next allied character's check. You can notice a single important point in the ongoing conflict. There's nothing to notice. You can inflict a critical injury with a successful attack that deals damage past soak. Oh, by the way, a triumph is also considered a success. So you
Okay, so
technically have 4
4
successes.
successes. Plus triumph.
Activate a weapon quality. Do you have weapons that require quality to activate?
Nope.
Well,
But that would be enough to. It would be enough to start a crit.
well, there we go. But that's an advantage thing, not a triumph thing. I wish they would have. There, you see,
Break.
yeah.
Can activate
Now,
something, but I don't think they did break.
Now things
That's
that
just quality of the weapon.
things that a triumph can do, and only a triumph can do. You can upgrade the difficulty of a target character's next check, upgrade an allied character's next check, do something vital such as shooting the controls to the nearby blast doors. Oh, thanks. More subjective shit. Thank you. So that's in addition to, because they instead of saying, you could do this with advantages and then this with triumphs, they lump together the stuff that you can do with advantages and triumphs and then add the stuff you can only do with triumphs. So,
Okay, so no, so I take that back. That's not enough to start a crit.
there we go. But what is the base damage of your Vibroact?
Base damage is 3.
Okay, so what we're looking at is a 7 for damage.
The triumph is always enough to start a crit.
Is it?
Is it not? The triumph allows you to inflict a critical hit as the triumph effect.
Given that, I can barely see the fucking writing.
That's the one about Angela.
I think you might be right, but See, the real question is how many moons do they have? They're womp rats. There can't be that many.
Well, this is a minion group. So individually, no, they don't have many. But as a group, they have more. The thing is, as you chop away at them, you cut up not only their numbers, but their effectiveness, because the numbers of people in a minion group after one, each one that they have adds to their skill checks. So
Oh, yep. There it is. Inflict critical injury with a successful attack that deals damage past soak. So as long as you do damage,
okay.
you can use it to inflict critical injury.
My understanding of the minion rules is that when you inflict a critical injury, you will automatically kill one member of the minion group straight up. One of them is already dead. So now,
So with this, would that make this the equivalent to like a D&D cleave? Basically go through one of them and then hit another?
yes, I will be applying your 7 damage to another one.
Okay.
Yeah. But you've already killed one. So 1.
Okay. That works for me.
Goes down to 13. You've essentially killed 3. And there's 3 more left. So with your first, there's like 3 of them splat, and then we're talking about like big, vicious, 10-foot long. Like they say rat, but what they really should say is like dog, because they're like 10 feet long, 2 feet high.
Large rat wolf.
Yeah, and he just killed 3 of them. Like they weren't even there. Who wants to go next?
I have a light blaster. I would like to use it. I will use my maneuver to aim.
Adam, what is the difficulty for someone firing short range?
Short, easy.
Which is a
One.
A
Single
1.
die.
A 1. You see that? It's easier to shoot something from short range than it is to engage them from close range. Wait till I get my hands on the people who wrote this game.
So,
I know
one
what the
yellow,
forums are.
1 green, and 1 purple.
I don't know. It's always been my opinion that any idiot can pull a trigger, so
Hear that?
using a melee weapon takes skill and practice. Effective.
I think I have a net 0 advantages and 1 setback. I think that's what that says.
Yep.
The triangle type thing?
So
Yep.
you have
Advantage.
1 setback.
One
He's
setback.
got 1 success, 1 failure, 1 setback, and then nothing more.
1 success, 1 failure.
So cancels.
Yeah, okay, so
And
his
1 setback.
net is 1 setback. 1 setback? That's a strain. Enjoy. You pulled something.
My trigger finger. I gotta get back to my desk job.
You weren't prepared for the recoil. Your wrists. a little-
Oh, does the
Yeah,
aim
shit,
action
stuff.
improve anything?
Yes, likely it would.
Yes.
Does it give me an extra 6-sided die or something?
Just check. 'Cause I'm in that area
Fine.
anyways.
Or the aim maneuver, I should say.
Aim provides character with 1 of 2 of the following bonuses. Gain 1 bonus or 1 boost die on the next combat check. If the character spends 2 consecutive maneuvers aiming, gains 2 boost die on the next combat check,
on
or
the next
target
one.
a specific item carried by the target.
You want to try to apply a maneuver retroactively to
Well,
an existing roll?
I declared it, I just didn't
Okay.
roll it.
All right. Go ahead.
I think
That's
that
an advantage.
that's an advantage. So net.
So you don't suffer a strain.
No.
Or wait a minute, no, because advantage and disadvantage don't cancel each other out, do they?
This is a good time to figure
This
this.
is, yeah.
So you'd be net 0 then. 0 everything.
I don't think so. I think advantages don't cancel each other out.
Pretty sure they do.
Oh no, they are. Advantage is canceled by a
Everyone
disadvantage.
heard me declare the aim, right?
Yeah.
You totally
I didn't,
declared
but I
it.
wasn't paying attention. So.
So no strain for you, Bob.
And
So you fire your blast sort of ricochets off the floor. Who wants to go next?
I'll take my turn shooting.
We are helping. We are helping.
As
Look,
long
here's
as
a
that doesn't
distraction.
manifest as a penchant for friendly fire, that will be all
Please
right.
don't shoot the Wookiee in the ass. It's just not going to be a happy thing.
Later I will tell the story about Mr. Friendly Fire who started as an archer and then carried that into Shadowrun.
That's decent.
You didn't give me any difficulties before I...
You're shooting from short range?
Short range.
Yeah.
So that's one
Short
purple?
range. Okay.
One purple bead.
At one success and 3 advantages.
One success and 3 advantages?
Mm-hmm.
Ah. What would 3 advantages let her do in combat, Adam?
They will allow her to
You
activate
can negate the
qualities.
depending if you want to use all 3 on one. You can negate the target enemy's defensive bonuses until the end of the current round.
I don't think it's going to last until the end of the round.
These poor womp rats are like,
You can temporarily disable the enemy.
Big red smear.
That's a subjective effect.
Not even a fine red mist.
+1 ranged or melee defense until the end of your next turn. Just add dice to the next person's check. Recover strain.
I'll add dice to whoever goes next.
Inflict a
Okay,
you can
well, that
actually-
being the case, you got 1 success. What's the damage of your weapon?
5,
Okay, what's the critical range of your weapon, by the way? What's the crit number?
4.
Okay, so you would need 4 advantages to be able to activate the crit. So you got 6 damage. Six. That's 7. So there's 1 left. And he wishes there weren't. No, I'm not saying whose turn it is. Whose turn is it? Who wants to go next?
The game.
Gan benefits from dice as well.
Very good.
How many dice does the Gan benefit from?
The Gan will draw his slug thrower and shoot a
Now, do you have a slug through a pistol or one of them long, big Jezzails like the Tuscans have?
Just a pistol, right? That's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
but hey, they can take out speakers.
Well, yeah. I don't think it would have taken much. I think if he'd have heaved one of the little toads at him, it would have got him.
3 successes and advantage so far. They're done. So 3 successes, 2 advantages.
All right, so 3 successes plus the damage of the pistol is...
7.
Yeah, you got him. Good. You got him. Really good.
Don't worry about the advantage
There we
there.
go. There we go. Wow, that was short and sweet.
We're gonna have to hose the Wookiee down after this.
That's right.
All that sand will probably be useful for cleaning up after.
Sandblast the Wookiee.
Bring you up to eye level?
Do you want to make a...
No.
Well, antagonize a Wookiee. I don't know what's the matter with you. Just because I told him that if he hurt any of my people, there would be consequences, doesn't mean he won't be able to hurt any of my people. It is very difficult to pick up broken teeth with broken fingers. This I know. Are you trying to give that back to me?
Nice. Quick run.
Didn't grab you violently, just very gently, put you on his shoulder, brought you up to eye level. No. Put you back down.
Coercion rolls to tell you to not do that.
You want to do a contested coercion roll with me? Okay. Remember, my specialization is enforcer.
Yeah. And I have... It's called...
Oh yes.
Remember that for Salem, all he really has is his ability to influence you with his mind.
Scathing tirade.
Uh-huh. And I have intimidating. And I've got 9 strain left.
I've got 12. Just saying.
It would be a fierce stare down.
It would be a very fierce stare.
What a hell of a stare down.
Go ahead, grab a glass of water there, yes.
All right, I'll forgive it this time. But the next time, mister, you get drunk before you come here. So this seems to be some sort of archive area. There are carved slots in the walls that look like they might have held data transfer devices of some kind or data storage devices. And each one has markings over top of them and stuff. But guess what's growing inside these little slots? He sees the mushrooms and he's like, so, you know, wow, ooh, that's really interesting. Ooh, earthy, but there's a tiny bit of piquant that suggests, I don't know, tough to tell, really. Hard to. There might be a little bit of, you know, I mean, somebody else might not think this was very fun, but you don't seem to be. You think you're, at least you think you're not. Oh.
I was waiting for that. That's all that was going through my mind.
Oh. Her second head has the loveliest colors. It's right there on the end of her nose. Ooh. That's really something. He's a rainbow Wookiee. Look at the colors. Wow. And he's so soft. Jotano's head, her helmet is pointed downward and she's got a... And, you know, the dead womp rats are sort of shuffling along. You know. Oh yeah, this is a lot of fun. Lots and lots and lots of... They're very, very good. Ooh, you gotta have some more. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
And the doctor is just standing there watching all of this.
Yeah, pretty much. And the whole room goes... like it's spinning like you're inside of a disco ball that has a sun inside of it. Wow!
Is he vomiting profusely now?
No! Jotano is looking at you. Those mushrooms would kill us, but because of his physiology, he's copped a buzz. Pretty big one, too. He's currently running around the room. Look at this. Hey, look! Wings! You've got wings! Wee!
You can taste blue.
Blue's a great taste. Why? And look! She's there with you! And so is he! Flapping together. Let's go softer. Why not? Why?
Okay, anything else in this chamber?
Last time I dealt with psychedelics, it involved a lot of dehydration. I hope these aren't the same.
You have to remember that his physiology is a lot different. He's not likely to upchuck if that's what you're worried about.
Yeah, no. but hopefully it works his way out of it.
Although he probably should stop eating them at some point if he ever wants to come down.
I'm
In
pretty
which-
sure of that.
In which Marrow sort of goes over, takes your hand off the mushrooms, leads you out of the chamber. There's a caterpillar with 8 arms waving bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.
Sitting on the mushrooms with a hookah pack.
That's right. It's my goddamn mushrooms.
I don't know why, but my brain wants to give that caterpillar a Java space.
That's right. Three mushrooms, and the caterpillar was Boshuda. Motherfucker. Wait till you tell that story just as soon. Kevin looks over at the mushrooms that did that, right? You stay there. It was the mushrooms that did that, right? Okay, so he goes over to the mushrooms, takes 3 or 4 of them, puts them in a baggie, seals them up, puts them in his bag. Anybody gonna ask him?
Bag.
Yeah, he puts a few more in. He fills a few bags too. Anybody gonna ask him? No? Okay, moving right along. Gonna ask, now's the time.
If he ever gets like this again, keep him away from the cockpit.
I think we'll have to have a room for him set up some.
Instead of the driving lines of the hyperdrive, he gets plaid. That's right. All the tartans of the rainbow, and little Scots flying through hyperspace. Ugh, mich laddie. So, you leave this lovely chamber, go back the way you came, and take the road not traveled. It is. He had to because it was his obligation. Because if he didn't, he'd suffer strain. Now this corridor leads to another foyer with more crumbling furniture, more writing on the walls. It's getting to be kind of old hat. Oh, and more lush mushroom growth. So you're basically ushered right through this room and set in the hallway and told to go look that way. We got you a big old bag for later. Now, didn't we get you a big old bag for later? All right, now don't be greedy. Besides, you play your cards right, you can figure out what the spores are, find some and grow some of your own. See? So you take a few pictures of the writing in here and then move right along. You're led to another junction area that looks a lot like the one that you were in. This one has a passage to the left and a passage to the right.
This place is huge.
Which way you want to go, left or right?
Let's start with right first.
Okay. There's a very short connecting corridor to another chamber, not unlike the one that you were in, except in this chamber the only way out is 90 degrees on your left-hand side. There are tiny fragments of metal in this room. Nothing special, not like precious metal, just like there was something here that was big and metallic, and then it, I don't know, it must have been blasted to flinders, or you don't see scorch marks in the whole. But then again, I mean, you know, thousands of years ago, who knows? So something was definitely here, but it ain't here now. There's more writing on the wall. Marrow and you take pictures of that. And
I have them sorted by room. Is that okay?
It's fine, absolutely. I have been able to do some quick reading, and I really think that this place is important to the Kamunga, but I'm trying to figure out why.
Maybe we haven't gotten to it yet.
No, maybe we haven't indeed. So, do you take the corridor to the left? Yes?
Yeah.
Sure. Kevin seems to be rearing to do this methodically.
After a 2-minute walk, you emerge into another chamber again, not unlike the, sort of uneven, but still roughly the same size. No mushrooms here, crumbling stone benches.
Any writing?
Everywhere. Twice as thick. Half the size. It's just everywhere. On the other side of that corridor, he points, because when you guys come in, there's a corridor 90 degrees, headed set to your left. Marrow looks and he says, down that corridor is something that was very important to these people. Something about the future.
That sounds like it's getting into mystical territory.
I don't think the Kamunga were a very mystical people, but it's tough to tell. We don't know as much about them as we should. But only one way to find out.
Yes. Do another pulse.
There is life down on the end of that corridor. What else would you like to know?
That's all I get.
That's right. There is life. It's there. It's also tinged with the dark side of the Force. You were a Padawan just long enough to learn the difference.
Sort of at the edge of the quarters. Something down
Marrow looks at you. What do you mean, like more womp rats?
there. I don't know. There's something down there. It's alive.
Dubaka, would you go first, please? There was once a door here. It ain't here no more, but it was a big door. And you can see on the other side of the door, it's a big chamber. And as if shaking itself free of the rock itself, 3 forms sort of emerge from the murky dust. Now, sitting at the center of this room, imagine a huge sequoia or redwood, cut down but with its stump left intact. There is a large piece of metal rock. It's tough to tell without closer observation. That's right in the center of this room. The walls are lined with not only writing, but writing that's been filled with a metal of some kind, probably be one of the denser metals. Like, this room was meant to last. Even though, again, many of the accoutrements and appointments on the inside, there are skeletons of dead Jawas all over the place. There are also huge, lush patches of thick, fat mushrooms here. So this place was
Is these as old as the last one we found?
It's tough to tell because, frankly, the 3 forms that come up demand your attention. 2 of them are very large womp rats, 4 feet across the shoulder, at least 13 feet long. That's unnatural for a womp rat. And if that's unnatural for a womp rat, Mama Womp Rat, who stands twice as tall as them and much bigger, is definitely unnatural. So come. Let us do initiatives as is.
Yay. Nice.
Sweet. Somebody's going first. Unless Mama Womp Rat is scarier than I think she is.
I think we're going to be spending some force points. One of these.
Yeah. And he's got more to work with.
But every time he spends one, we get one. Because they just flip back and forth.
That's what the daughter advantage, right?
Yep.
So 2 advantages, 1 success.
Yep.
I'm going to spend a destiny point to upgrade one of the initiative dice of the big one.
I wonder if I get to activate Sunder, can I Sunder their teeth?
Yep, sorry.
But her claws, whatever she's using as her.
It's not official
Yeah.
yet because
Oh.
you can't. It all has its
Knock her teeth out.
I don't believe you can summon natural weapons.
Will they fit the Wolverine?
Then we're in the wrong universe.
Shit.
Lightsaber versus adamantium.
Lightsaber wins.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
You can give them Cortosis blades on the other hand, and we'll see what happens.
Cortosis blades would be different, but they wouldn't be adamantium. They would be all cut through. Give him lightsaber blades.
The little micro emitters in his knuckles.
That's right. All right, so Toby,
4 successes.
4 successes.
2 dice.
Craig. Ooh.
No more than 2.
2 successes. 2 successes.
Up.
2. Did you get any? Advantages? Okay, well, you're a player character. I don't know what happens when you tie. Plus, you get no advantages either side. I think it just defaults over to whoever has the higher characteristic, and I suspect that's you. Again.
1 success, 1
What?
advantage.
1 success. 1 success. You go before. Yep.
Sorry.
It's again.
Yes. Because Dan is awesome.
You want to feed her some of those mushrooms.
You are correct. Player characters are more awesome than NPCs.
Right.
No same initiative, no advantages or same advantages. PC goes first. Awesome.
You're the heroes of the story, of course.
Okay. Yeah, I suspected as much. Salem.
2 successes, 1 advantage.
You go before Dubaka. I know. Well, you
create a slot.
You create a slot. Vanny.
Pretty sure we're
1
going
success,
after
2
the
advantage.
So you widen the gap between the 2 males.
So there's 2 males and
Just 2 males and 1 female.
Mama rat.
But as you pointed out, they're all rodents of unusual size.
We asked you that they are.
Angela.
You said they were bigger than normal,
Already know.
and they have rat in their name.
That's right, the rat. Remember the Ratkin Kiff book? You remember that, huh? Fucking the Ratkin standing there in his friggin' Krynos form with balls the size of fucking German shepherds. How do you walk anywhere? No wonder they're angry. It's like, I fucking scraped my sack against the pavement again. All right, so we have 2 slots to go before the Womp Rat Mommy goes. Who would like to be the very first to go? Why? I say Chewbacca should be the first one to go, is what I say.
It's already covered in blood. You might as well get more covered in blood.
That's right. He's gonna be combing fucking womp rat schmutz out of his.
He already smells like dead womp rat. He should go in and attract their attention.
Don't worry.
Alright.
Oh, but by the
Closing
way,
the
Angela,
distance.
yeah. Once again, in this room, there is a short range, close range. That's despite the fact that the room is slightly larger. By the way, I actually found a few extra sheet protectors, so anytime you want to pump out those deck plans, you let me know. We're gonna set the deck plans up so that you people can actually write down where your quarters are. We have plans for this ship, so
I told you where I am.
yes. Well, anyways, make your attack, sir. Make your attack.
Net 2 successes, 1 disadvantage.
And you inserted 2 purple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, net 2 successes, 1 disadvantage. Now, who were you attacking? The biggest one?
Yeah, I was going to go after Mommy.
Mommy. Okay, so
That's the biggest prize.
that's right. The Wookiee's got mommy issues.
What I do now?
These guys are big enough to actually have soak.
Well, they're at -2 for that.
Okay, 1 soak for Mama. So
That rides for the win.
total damage is
3 plus successes.
so make that 2 plus your successes, which is how many?
Net 2.
It's 4.
That's
Well, it's 3 for the Vibroax.
3 for
2 successes. Net.
That's +3. Add that to
Okay.
your brawn.
Oh,
Yeah, it works a bit different.
That
than some
range.
of the other
ah.
Yeah, so your base
So
is
6 plus 2 successes.
Okay. So six.
So,
So 6 plus 2 successes.
Yes.
That's 8.
Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
-1 is 7. Boy, that hurt.
yeah.
That hurt. Oh boy.
Why do you think I wanted the Vibroax?
That
Okay.
is a lot of damage.
It hurts things. It hurts things a lot.
So, now that Dubaka has acted,
Range ones typically.
there's one more person who can act before Mommy. Who wants to go before Mommy does?
I'll shoot that. It's
You hit the thing the last time. Might as well.
Vanny, you're.
difficulty.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No, you can.
2?
No, only one.
Only one?
One setback die.
That's right.
Okay.
As Happy here says, anyone can fire that. Doesn't sound the same coming out of a Wookiee, but you know.
So that is 3 successes. Advantage.
Somebody want to give her a hand?
Net 2 successes.
What's the
Those two
damage
cancel
of
each
the
other out.
blaster?
And that's -1 from your successes.
Net 2 successes. Hey, that's good. What's the damage of your pistol?
5.
7.
So,
-1. So that's 6. Well done.
assuming you're attacking the mother.
Well, Pierce, that only applies on my attacks.
Oh, yeah, that's
So-
right.
So it has full soak against everybody else.
So let's go back and retract. So you had 7 successes total, -3 for her soak, which is 4. There we go. Okay. There we go. We'll get the hang of this. It's a good shot though. You got her good. Blew an ear off and everything. She's gonna miss that ear, I'm telling you.
I think it's one of our goals to make sure she doesn't miss it for long.
Well, it's her turn. It's one of the NPC's turns, likely.
Well, we have been doing the most to piss her off, right?
Quite. However, she knows a prime target when she sees one, or Wookiee puss. So,
Attacking the bigger target goes both ways.
that's right. That's sort of more of a hey Rocky.
Bet you're gonna start asking if someone's seen your baseball.
Oof. Well, 3 successes plus a triumph.
Oh.
Ouch.
That's gonna stink.
Somebody give Adam his song sheet back. Adam, you are now and forever a keeper of one of those.
Keeper of the board.
I've got 2 of them. You keep one of them. I don't know who has the other one. Where's the other one?
There's
One
one
is still in the
here.
back.
Sitting there doing nothing.
So 3 successes.
It's on the couch.
3 successes
Could've
and
sat
a
on
triumph.
Yeah, 3 successes and a triumph.
Okay, so that's going to be works after 4 successes because the triumph is a
4
success by
successes,
itself,
yes.
and then you can spend the triumph on a great many things.
I want to spend the triumph in such a way that it will do additional damage. How can I do that?
You can inflict a critical injury.
That sounds good. Let's inflict a critical injury.
Very good. Then you will roll on the critical injury chart. Percentile.
Ha! Okay, well, first let's establish what your basic injuries are.
1 wound.
What's that?
1 wound.
1 wound? You've decided, have you?
I feel like I've got a soak of 3, so
Okay. Well, there's more, trust me. There's more. Because the bite on these things, don't worry about the critical. There's an ensnare, although I'm not so sure that she would want to ensnare you. But the base damage for the bite is 4. So knocking down your soak, add one to the 4, it's a 5. Does that make mathematical sense to you?
Yep.
Okay, so you've taken 5 wounds. Plus we're going to determine the critical for you. We love you that much.
You sound so happy.
Well, you know, I mean, he's going to have you know, when it comes time for him to go back to Kashyyyk and get some Wookiee broads. Wookiee broads dig scars, man. Wookiee broads are like, and then he can say it was a Rancor, because what are they going to fucking know, right? This is like, I fought off 6 Rancor, 2 with each hand, 1 with each leg, an extra one with these nuts, which wielded their own vibro thingamy.
You have to roll percent on that.
Clench my nuts.
Yeah, my dice roller isn't set up to roll it. Would you please roll percent off? If you don't have 2 colors of percent, just start with 1 die.
I don't.
As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure you don't have 2 colors of percentile, so just take a D10 and start with 1 die.
if there's a D10 there.
There's no D10.
It's all Star Wars dice.
Sacrifice.
I'm sorry.
Enough to startle the fucking again. I think I better edit that out of the podcast. What's that?
37.
What's 37?
37 is a stinger. It hurts. Increase difficulty of the next check by 1. So the next time you have to make a check, increase difficulty by 1.
One of your difficulty dice becomes
Red.
Red die.
Not an upgrade, it's increased difficulty. Extra die.
Oh,
Oh,
that's an addition? Unless, I think that's unless you get to 5, and then it must go up.
I believe so.
I think, yeah. By the way, just as a piece of mechanics, the most number of minions I can throw at you in a single clump is 6 because of the way the mechanics work. Now, I could throw lots of clumps of 6 at you, but the most I can throw at you in one clump is a 6. And apparently this is considered madness on the forums. 6 in a minion group? What's the matter with you? Please, you're gonna fucking...
scrape
You're gonna-
walls.
Wookiee over here, it's got 3 of them strapped to his jock for crying out loud. What am I worried about?
Ooh. Little tiny scalps.
No, they're big scouts. Okay, so the mama has gone. Yes.
I thought there was something like this. Well, only applies next round. anyways.
Wookiee Rage?
Yeah, Wookiee Rage.
Or are you peeved?
I think that's stun.
Are you put out?
Yeah.
So what did I
that's,
take? What did I take? 5 there?
Here's a question.
Okay.
You're fearless thing? Oh, no, 'cause
Fearsome.
it's an animal.
It is an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, you know, if this was a swarm, I'd give it to you because the minions are like. But this is a mama. She's got balls
They're
too.
gonna
So I
regret
mean.
on the next hit.
All right,
Those
so-
things so dead.
One person gets to act before one of the males do. Who wants to be that person?
I've already gone, so.
Kill the mama. Kill the mama. Kill the mama.
So essentially, I'm going to
Which critically wounded.
activate my control of my
You
senses.
took,
Mhm.
So I'm going
you were critically
to
injured.
commit one of my one only force die.
Enjoy your
Yes,
plus
So
two.
I need, once per round, whenever something attacks me, I will upgrade their difficulty by 1,
Okay.
and that's an action. So
So so you watch everything just come to a halt as he half lifts a hand, closes his eyes, and then it's just like time stops for a minute, and then everything goes back, and the male decides to chew on him because he's just standing there after all, and
well, I'm at the back.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's fucking 12 feet long. It just you
Pulls
just
people over. Right.
That's right. Besides, it's not like he's going to be able to hit you. I don't think. I hope.
I'm not a combat character.
Well, we're going to find out, ain't we?
You're a character in combat, therefore you're a combat character.
The worst you can be is 297
Who cares? Oh man, he's a whopper. That's pretty tough. Not. Said nobody here ever.
Oh, I'm definitely taking a trophy.
Wow. 2 advantages. So, in other words, the force is with you. Well done. Well done.
Did you upgrade one of those things? Upgrade bonus difficulties to the red die.
Oh, okay. Would you?
That's what I was
I
essentially
know.
doing instead of shooting.
I know. And it was my mistake, and you're right to call me on it. I'll tell you what. We can either go with this check, or we can recheck, and you might get hurt.
Yeah, we'll find this one.
Okay?
You missed.
We're good. Okay. And I apologize. You can slug me later. All right. So, after him, there's one more space for a PC to do something. Then the first male goes. After that, it's 2 spaces for, well, I guess you and Marrow, because Marrow's not going to do anything. He just doesn't want to shoot anybody, So, but you want to go? You want to? You want to go? Oh, you want to go?
He was pretty successful with that slip up thrower last
So,
time.
Yeah.
actually,
Let her rip.
yeah, Figurat's actually going to step into the one that has not currently charged anybody.
Yes.
Keep it away from anybody else.
Quite.
The maneuver is to close in on it, and then going to truncheon it in the head.
Oh, nice. So he's like,
Pistol and truncheon. Flip one of the force things. Like,
2 set
I
that die for-
upgraded
oh, you
dice.
can-
Yeah. Upgraded die. Beat it in the head. Because I think it's funny.
That's looking healthy.
I'm thinking that's going to work out pretty good.
That's looking very healthy.
what do we got? What do we got?
5 minus 1 is
Speak
4
to me of your
successes and 1 disadvantage.
1 disadvantage. The disadvantage is probably good for a strain.
Yep.
Okay.
I got no problem with that.
It's got a soak of 2.
Soak of 2.
So give me a final total.
5 plus 4 is 9 damage.
Before or after soak?
Before.
Okay,
9,
so 7.
7 damage.
7 damage.
And I will spend 2 of the. Oh, right. That's the advantages. Very good. Yep. So that's it. Just damage.
Gotcha. All right. Well, it's now the male's turn, and the male doesn't like that you did that thing that you did. So the male's going to take a swing at you. A swing. And I'm going to spend a destiny point to upgrade its attack. Now you're at close range, so that's 2 purple.
So you upgrade greens to yellow until you run out of greens to upgrade, and then you get an extra
And
green.
then you
Yeah.
get greens, which go to yellow, yeah.
A triumph and 3 advantages.
It's going to stay.
So 1
All right.
success.
So the triumph is a success.
Yeah,
So
so
the damage is.
that's 4, I believe, 4 or 5, probably closer to 4. 4.
4.
Yes.
Which my soak will eat. So that will not actually do damage.
Well, okay. 4 is the base damage,
Oh, 4 is the base.
so you will
it's
take at
5.
least 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wasn't.
Where did you get 4 soap from?
3 from my brawn, and 1 point from my armor. And 4 soak.
And then it's nuts.
And empties nuts. Yeah.
Plus
he's hopped up on shrooms, right? Plus we hopped him up on shrooms and sent him to fight something. So he's poetry in motion. He really is. It's interpretive dance.
Like, I think I'm hugging it.
Right. It's the bug.
You missed one. Maybe you're hitting the rainbow ones that are dancing instead of the ones that are actually.
The triumph effect has all kinds of good shit you can play with.
It's a magical wellness stick.
Well, it's your triumph, man.
Do you feel better yet?
No, you.
Why would I decide? It's your triumph.
But
The book often says that in cases where a player rolls... Oh, it's not... Oh, right, sorry.
But the big rat rolled the triumph, so it's like...
At some point, I'll learn to think again. Pray for me.
Need some coffee, yes?
What do you want to do for the
So we could
damagey
do
thing as well, or
Crit, boosted...
Yeah, it's about time you took a
attack.
fucking crit, too.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Let's roll them bones.
Roll the bones.
82?
Oh, that's going to be bad.
That's high. That's bad.
The range goes up to 150.
Winded. Until the end of the encounter, the target cannot voluntarily suffer strain to activate any abilities or gain additional maneuvers. So
Okay.
he basically crunched the carapace and
Because
popped the mask off and was like...
here's the thing, okay? The last time of my gaming career that I saw critical charts like that, they were for Warhammer 40k. Yeah. So
Yeah.
every time I hear critical, I'm expecting like, you know,
You sawed somebody's arm off.
yeah,
Fucking
punched you in the chest and
chain
your
axe.
heart popped out your eyeball.
If you break 100, that's when it starts getting scary.
Okay, so that's your crit. You're settled in.
How do you break 100?
sure there was-
Once you have a critical injury, add 10. If you have certain weapon qualities like the vicious on his axe, add 50. And do really terrible things to people.
Yeah.
Like, lightsabers have a big crit range too for that because they're very good
Oh,
at chopping
lightsaber! The
weapons.
lightsaber crit is like what, 1 or 2? It's fucking criminal.
Really?
For a lightsaber? Yeah, check it out. A lightsaber's like crit range is like 1 or 2.
It's basic. They do severing like ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, I figured that's why the Vibroax had such a big one because it's like limb choppers. They're made for it. I would have figured a lightsaber
Well,
would
it's
have
not-
a number.
I can't
It was that or
read
the
it.
Vibro sword, but I looked at this and I went, no.
Lightsaber has a crit range of 1.
Lightsaber's a crit range of 1, kids.
Oh, no. Crit range is different.
Oh.
That just means you need one advantage to say, I have a crit.
Yeah, but.
Yes,
It's whether
it's
it has
got
vicious.
It's got Breach 1, Sunder, and Vicious 2.
Okay, so Vicious 2 is only plus 20, but it crits like clockwork.
Breach would be going through armor, wouldn't it?
Breach would be going through hull. I think Breach and Sunder.
Ignore 1 point of armor. Or 10
breach is also
or
going
10
through
points
armor.
of
Breach is
strength per
going
rating.
I think
Right,
Breach,
yeah, so-
Breach and Pierce are the same thing except for on
By
different.
the
Different
way,
scale. Yeah.
Angela, remember, ion weapons are your enemies because they bypass shields. And one of the greatest defenses the Ruby Queen has is her heavy shield system. Just so you know. Fear the ion cannons.
Pierce is reducing the target, so that's
Yeah, they do very similar things
Oh,
in terms of they let more damage
Salem?
through, and the lightsaber has more of the ability
aim.
to do that
I'm
against
going to spend a
various
destiny
types of
point.
things.
Gotcha.
You guys spend a destiny point?
Like Breach is a point of
So,
I was just going back and forth.
2 difficulty,
Pretty much.
2 yellow,
sounds good.
Get her done. No, who are you aiming at?
the mother.
Yes. Well done. Very
Must
smart.
help my Wookiee friend that I have managed to
Yes,
insult
try not to
with.
shoot your Wookiee friend between the nuts from behind. He's already got a critical.
These nuts. Well, that's a. What are they called?
Triumph,
Triumph.
little
Yeah,
sword
Triumph.
thing.
Yeah.
The sword and the...
And I have a net 1 disadvantage.
You have no well, you have 1 success
One
on the
success.
triumph, but no successes otherwise.
No.
And you have a net 1 advantage.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty good. What's the weapon? The on your
The damage of my.
Yes.
5.
Okay, so 5 minus, so that's 6 minus 3, so that's 3 damage. What do you want to do with your triumph? It's your triumph, buddy.
I'm going to cause a critical.
You go ahead and dodge the critical.
Did you want me to roll?
I require a D100.
Yes. Why don't you do that, there, Dan?
81.
81.
That's a good roll.
That sounds like winded
It's
to me.
exactly the same thing that he got.
There you go. So there we go. So that's
She cannot
Total of
spend
3
strain
damage.
to activate qualities as she slumps to the ground. Dead.
what a circus. Is there some way that Marrow can assist without shooting anybody?
Yes, he can.
Does he have a first aid kit?
If he was caught with one, Jatana would beat him. Well, maybe not beat him.
He
but-
can do the assist maneuver, which grants a bonus to an ally's check. Basically,
Good.
Here, basically
Assist
have a
maneuver
bonus
on
die.
you. And that's all. And that's all he's. I don't know under what circumstances he could take strain. He could willfully decide to take strain to do another maneuver. Is that something you can just
He can
decide to do?
exchange an action for a maneuver.
Yes.
Aim for the head! Thanks!
I don't know if you can assist twice or not. I don't think so.
Well, I'll say that at this point he gives you. He says, "You're the best dang Wookiee I've ever seen." You.
Okay.
And he can take a guarded stance to protect himself.
And so what is-
Yeah. He'll do that. He'll totally do that.
So what does that do? That upgrades my last die to a.
It's-
No.
No, it gives you a little blue dice.
The
Ah,
advantage.
And
okay.
boost your
Boost
next
die.
check.
There we go.
So one
So,
boost die to my next check.
Here's the lay of the land. The mother is still alive, but she's looked better. One of the males.
There's a big dent in his.
One of the males has a big dent in his head. The other one looks pristine, even. But you're basically right in front of the mother. So I would be surprised if you did something different, but I wouldn't predict you.
Okay. My turn again.
Quite.
Okay. Flip a destiny. Because I got that extra critical thing.
Really should start spending these.
Okay. Survey says. Net 1 success, net 1 disadvantage.
All right. Well, the disadvantage sounds like a strain to me.
Oh, I've got a disadvantage as well. I probably have a strain. Correct?
Yeah, it's basically you either take a strain or lose the benefit of a prior maneuver.
But you did succeed, right?
Yes.
So what is your total added up damage?
Total added up damage would be 7.
Okay. Now you deny her 2 points of soak.
Yep.
So her soak is only 1, so she's dead. You bring the vibro axe down right through her head to the point where it sticks right into the rock floor. Not that you're worried about that part.
I was actually aiming for the neck. I want that head as a trophy.
And so be it. Instead of coming straight through the top of her head, you slice the head off and it bounces, teeth chattering on the ground. Well done, Bob. Well done. I'll talk about Bob the Wookiee for years.
Talking about that was awesome. remember that workout area that I'm carving out of the cargo bag? Guess where that's going?
Gotta clean it first.
Yeah, well. I'm gonna
Probably eat the brain as well.
Bonnie, it's your turn.
filthy
Alright.
buggers. No.
Filthy fuckers.
Oh, there's a brain rot in there. I don't want that.
Taking this, I'm going to clean it
So
out.
we've still
I'm
got a
going to
couple
take the
of
skull
those?
and I'm going to polish it. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you have
lacquer
2
it,
males.
and it's going
One of
on the
them's
wall.
already been wounded, and another one is pristine.
Come on.
Alright, let's shoot
Taxidermy is like,
the,
just a
the
natural
one
thing
that's
for
already
releasing.
wounded.
Good. Well done.
Pass from father to son.
So that looks like
Yep.
it'll end up being 2 successes and an advantage whenever it's
Yep.
done.
2 successes and an advantage?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your weapon's damage?
5.
Okay. So the 2 successes will go into their soak, but the 5 is certainly does an excellent job of badly wounding the womp rat.
I didn't even add in the plus
Toby
2
E,
for keeper.
it's your turn.
Whoops.
I can't remember, but is there a problem with firing in an engaged range?
Not that I know of, but
No.
Yes, I think there
don't
is.
know the rules well enough to say.
There's nothing that I can see in engaged.
Why don't we do it this way? Why don't we, for the sake of the story, let him do it without penalty, and then during the week we'll have that as a research topic, and we'll.
Yeah. The only thing I know of is there's a problem with shooting if you are engaged yourself. That's it. If you're using a gun in a sword fight,
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
a slight penalty.
Well, yeah, but there's a Womp Rat like who took
That's
a jump.
what I'm
at you.
talking
Oh,
about.
sorry, not shooting into a melee. Yeah.
Yes, the Womp is
Using
attacking
range light
me.
or range heavy?
Light.
Then it's +1 difficulty.
Although ironically, if you had a blaster cannon. Yeah, just let me unlimber my E-web.
Yes, that would work. Yeah.
And there's one character who says, "Oh yeah, I got an E-web and the power pack's on my back." I said, "You know why there's always 2 Imperials for an E-web, right? Because one has to monitor the power pack because it has a habit of catching fire." Just saying. So,
So,
The old Western games.
I'm going to quick draw my pistol because it had that modification. Then I'm going to aim at this stupid fucking rat. And then I'm going to pull the
Those are
trigger.
best systems out
good.
there.
Good. Give us a check. Give us a most excellent check.
So I have now 2 successes, 1 disadvantage.
Okay. So what's the damage of the weapon?
5.
Yeah, Wookiees are tough. They're not that tough.
Yep. You've badly harmed it. All right. So after Tabin, the one that you shot, I'm very happy with you. Would you flip a destiny so that he can upgrade his attack?
And I will also upgrade his difficulty.
Now, by doing that, do you add
negated.
a red to the purple, right?
Purple, 1 purple goes to red.
Right. You add a red to the purple. Excellent. And then that. Oh. Wait a minute. You didn't. It's disconnected me from the internet for some reason. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. I don't know why it does that. Oof.
Glad you're not using it enough to just.
Oof. So, 1 failure that cancels out the success granted by the triumph. So it can't use its 4 advantages against you. But it does have the triumph, and I think that'd just be good for a disadvantage. I mean, it's not inflicting any. It's a net failure, so it's not inflicting any damage. So is there?
It can grant a bonus die to its next ally.
Well, it'll do.
Add a
It'll
negative
do.
challenge to.
It'll do that. It'll grant a bonus die to the poor struggling wretch that. Okay, so now it's your turn, Gand.
Very good.
I'm going to continue thumping on
I
it.
shall attempt once again to beat it around the head and shoulders with my club.
Attaboy, attaboy. That's how it's done.
Just hit it. Oh, let's see. So that cancels that. That is disadvantage. 1 disadvantage, 1 success.
The green die. Just want to-
2 successes, 1 disadvantage.
Well,
So-
the 2 successes are cancelled out by the soak. So what's the base damage of the weapon? Or the basic damage you would do with the weapon
5.
before? Okay, so you killed it. You basically bashed its head right in.
And then I take a point of strain for the disadvantage.
Attaboy. So you're
Breathing hard as
all
I
you
hammer
hear
his
is
face
all
into
you
the ground.
Alright. Well, that buddy gave it was of no use anyhow. Haha. Selim? There is one target left, and it's a male, and it's upset, lonely, far from home. Kill it.
It's too difficult, right?
It depends. Are you shooting at it from a distance?
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. You're right in the middle of, because I think you're with him, and that's the one that's attacking him. So you're shooting into melee at engaged.
Okay. So that's two, 3.
So what does that do to him?
Is it 3?
That would be two dice.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm not going to use point. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use a point. I'm going to upgrade my green to a yellow. I aim. My maneuver. I think I have a net failure, but one disadvantage. Or one advantage, I should say. Yeah, it's a net 0 for failure.
Okay. Well, it does nothing. Marrow does his usual Gogo Dubaka. Your turn.
Okay. Just for dramatic effect, leaping into the air to cleave this last bugger in half.
I'm pretty sure the look on his face is, oh, don't miss.
Right.
I didn't know Wookiees could fly.
If that X is coming towards me, I'm
Okay, and you know what? I'm spending the destiny point as well to upgrade because this has got to end. All right.
Get her done.
Bang. Net 1 success and net 3 advantages.
Okay. Resolve your add all your successes up.
It's net 1.
Yeah. Give me a damage total.
6, 7 plus 2, 9.
Okay, 9 minus 2 for soak. That's 7. You've killed it. You split it in half.
Wow.
There's a wet ripping sound. You split it in half. And it is dead. And suddenly there's nothing.
Is the Wookiee still angry?
Well, he would be too.
Jam the vibromax into the corpse.
And suddenly, there's nothing here but you guys.
whatever that weird thing is on the side.
Alright, well, Jotano looks at you. You each get a hand with a finger on the end of it. There is medicine. Oh.
Okay.
We will actually deal with the mechanics of the fact that she's working on both of your critical injuries second while Dan looks them up. Oh, yes.
Medical check difficulty. Current wounds equal to half or less than wound threshold? Yes.
Okay.
You're less than half of your wounds taken.
Very much so.
Then
That's
it's-
actually supposed to be 19, not 17.
Then is an easy medical check, so one purple die, and recovering critical injuries depends on the critical injury severity rating. So you took an easy crit,
Yeah.
which is one die. I took a average hit, which is 2.
We're going to take care of the Wookiee first. Nothing personal.
I have no idea what actually does for us. It's totally difficult to no idea what it actually does for us.
So he's only got one
On a
difficulty?
successful check, the target recovers a number of wounds equal to the number of successes generated by the medicine roll.
Nice.
an amount of strain equal to the number of advantages generated.
And the critical injuries, I guess, are treated separately.
Yeah, I think it's a different roll for crits. Because you carry those with you until they heal or are healed.
Since lingering critical injuries make subsequent injuries more and more dangerous, they should be treated quickly and effectively possible. Critical injuries vary in magnitude, represent difficulty of any corresponding medical check. For example, critical of 23.
Well, she's got 2 successes, so she's fixed here. I'm pretty sure that she has succeeded in working on your critical, whatever that means. Now, for you, you've got an extra purple, I think.
Yes, mine is an average difficulty crit.
For the love of God, get the mask back on.
No successes, but 4 advantages. Whatever that means.
4 strain.
If you lost any strain, you certainly get it back.
I can do it. Yeah, I was down 2, so I'll take it back.
But she sort of frowns and looks at you.
It's easy again. He's got stuff to work on.
You're going to have to take it easy for a little bit while I figure out how to fix you.
Acknowledged. This guy will walk slow.
As you happen to pass the big round, whatever it is on the floor, you can hear a chunk, 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 conk. And then as it seems to be, it opens up almost like a clamshell stood on its tail, but it opens into 4 portions. Sort of here. And where it opens, it's lit. So it's sort of brightly lit. And it opens quite a bit, actually. And as it does, you can see something begin to move within the area. I've got to get a mouse. Fuck. At first, it's just a bit of a shadow, and eventually a sphere about the size of a grapefruit pops up. Well, slowly lifts itself up from the depths of whatever lit area that is. And as you can see, the sphere is dotted with little points of light. Well, got a good look.
Cookie. Someone lift it up because I don't want to dump it over.
There's an actual sort of, there's almost like a handle at the top. Like it's not a movable handle, but yeah, like a roof that you can just be careful of the cords tangling underneath it.
It's a ricotta disco ball. Sorry.
You're not as far off as you think.
And the Gand is mesmerized.
What does it look like it's made of?
It's definitely metallic, and it's beginning to move, just sort of slowly turning.
Boss, you bring that key thing? What? Because
They take the tuk-tuk, he turns it, chink, and he walks around, puts it into a spot that he has now. Choke. Tink, 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 tink. And then the sphere stops, and you can hear the sound of something powering up
Salem unconsciously takes a step back towards the door.
And as it slows down and powers up, eventually the power up noise stops and it projects just massive holography in a huge sphere. And it encompasses the whole chamber. And you get the feeling like the hopes and dreams of an entire people were placed in this thing. The last connection to a possible future from a desperate past. And the holography display just turns. And you are in it. You are among it. And this is better holography than you've ever seen. This is, the photonic incredulity is almost nothing. There is no shaking or buzzing or it's perfect. Like sculptures painted in midair with light.
What sort of image is it?
It's hard for you to tell. It's
What he's going to do is sort of
There's lots
turn
of-
around to try and take it all in.
there's lots of Kamunga writing. And Kamunga writing blocks pointing to things and there seem to be lines of some kind, paths.
Were they star charts?
No, these aren't Star Trek. You'd know instantly if they were.
I know for sure.
Absolutely not.
But does it maybe look like a map for something else?
Jotana looks at it, cocks her head, reaches up, takes her helmet off. It's them. It's them. Here to here, the genetic markers for hair color on a Jawa. And she moves her hands to sort of see what she can do, and at first there's nothing, and sort of she finds like there's a projected light line around the bottom of the display, and she puts her hands on it and she turns. There and there. Bone density. Turns it again. There and there. Length of gestation. I'll be. She takes her helmet, puts it back on. Ladies and gentlemen, and those who are neither, this is everything you need to build a Kamunga. And Meryl says, well, that makes perfect sense.
I guess this is what they valued most.
This is what they valued most, and then they saw their world was coming to an end. And remember, from the Kamunga came the Tusken Raiders and the Jawas. They saw their people devolving before their very eyes. So they built the blueprints on how to make more of themselves.
Which could likely be used as a slave race if the Empire was able to get them and put them in the back of tanks. Grow them.
Well, they've cloned before.
Takes the sphere. No, they won't. Let's go. You two okay?
Oh, I checked. 2 separate rolls if you're dealing with wounds and you're dealing with crits. Crits
Lots
you can
of-
only do once a week.
Yes.
It's just a roll.
Yes.
Whether there doesn't appear to be any indication other than the severity, which increases the difficulty.
Gotcha.
You make the roll, your critical injury is resolved.
Good to know. All right.
Very good.
So you leave. What's the matter? You look troubled. Now he looks at you. You've got this like face on. Is it a character face, or you don't understand, or what's going on?
No, I was just sort of thinking that seemed a little bit easy. What's waiting for us as we try and actually leave the planet.
Please don't say that.
Wow. There we go. It's like Bane's there. Ah, you dig like a younger man. Am I the only one who thinks that Bane sounds like a gay Brazilian Captain Picard? Like, seriously? Number one! You fuck like a younger man! Actually,
Is there any part of the complex that we did not go through?
We missed a room, I think.
there is one
We wish to
room,
branch.
but you sense life there. Could be a swarm or of womp rats.
Oh god, the Wookiee's still angry!
Just don't mention it. I see whether or not Meryl just
Yeah.
At this point, with Wookiee Rage, I would probably slaughter an entire swarm in one hit.
Are you still like?
Well, all the rules say is that when you're critically wounded, you do +2.
Well, you ain't critically wounded anymore. You've been fixed.
Okay, I didn't know she did the separate roll.
Yeah, that was. She said that was the first roll that she did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
you
number of
actually-
wounds are the same, but
Yeah, she hasn't worked on your wounds yet.
oh, okay. I misinterpreted that.
Because it'd be kind of hard to treat your wounds when you're like. I mean, she could sit there and throw band-aids at you and hope to get one on the wound. It seems a waste, really. Cover you in spray foam bandage.
I'll send in a probe droid to try and smash!
That's right. Probe droid's like beat, beat, crunch. But straight top.
Here's a question with Wookiee Rage. It's +1 to brawl and melee attacks when you're injured,
When you have any wounds.
and then it's +2 to when you are critically injured. So is that +3?
Oh wow.
You're wounded and you're critically injured.
That's a good question. Put that question up on the forums or remind me, and I will take it to the Fantasy Flight
That
forums.
is a good question.
I suspect no, because when in doubt, cheat the player. But
Well, yeah, but it says there's two different conditions that can happen at the same time, so it might be +2.
yeah, but advantages. What are you gonna do? That's the thing. So you step out. A little, not really the worse for wear. Head back to the Ruby Queen. Sort of looking around, checking under the trees.
Could be an Imperial hiding behind that cactus.
Sazoon, y'all want to let us on? It's hot out here. And the Wookiee's upset.
Tommy's just leaving the ramp up. Don't tell him Wookiee's upset. He doesn't want the Wookiee on board. Not when he's mad.
And the and the pirates upset. Not lies. He really lies.
No, that's only worth a glare.
Okay.
Besides,
Who speaks such dirty little lies?
it's hot and all this other crap.
So the ramp drops. You guys get sweet cool air. It's like that 3 minutes that when you first step into the Walmart that you just need a minute. It doesn't matter that you're surrounded by those weird little machines. You put a quarter in, and you get some trinket and a plastic bubble. No, you can wait a minute.
Where are the refreshers?
That's right.
Sort of zombies off towards the refreshers.
Hopefully Sassoon hasn't decided to take them apart while you're.
Fuck!
I could use this for the engine.
carrying this giant womp rat head.
Doki's like,
Put the thing right in front of his face.
falls over.
And back towards my quarters.
So, take off when you're ready, but don't make us wait too long.
If I was only long enough to grab what amounts to a towel to wipe the general sweat and dust off on the way to.
You gotta put it on gosh. You're going, God. Fine. Cover me with your towel. See? Life. What do I know about life?
But yeah.
Don't laugh. I almost gave you a Marvin. I really liked the Marvin design for the new movie.
But yeah, set up.
Luckily, Sassoon decided to leave the engines pretty much intact. So you leave Tatooine's atmosphere and everybody's nice and relaxed. I believe you have something that belongs to us, huh? Marrow's like, who the hell is that? You look behind you and you're being followed. And because I'm a good sport,
Sounds like a good guy.
that's right. You know.
You tell Jabba we'll be back.
That's right.
Oh god, it's the space shysters.
The space. That's right, we're gonna hit him up in a minute. Thank you. Thank you very much, Windows. Thank you. You're a good boy. So, this is what you see following you.
It looks fast and weaponized.
Yes.
That's right.
It does indeed look like weapons.
YV-929 armed transport.
Oh boy.
Guns, guns, guns. And oh look! Ion guns.
Guns.
What's that?
That's guns. It's always guns.
So what are you going to give me for difficulty to get his attitude?
Well, you making the, we're going to, you're basically in combat right now. You just haven't rolled initiative. Once initiative's been recovered, your first action, presumably, will be to calculate the jump to light speed. From that point on, we're going to put 5 on the clock.
Okay.
And that'll be the number of turns that that you would have to make, depending on how well you do on your astrogation check.
Okay, so first thing off.
Now, hang on a second. First we have to do initiative.
That's what I was going to say. We start with the initiative. So
Yeah.
we start
Right.
with initiative.
You.
Breach is like 10 points of pierce.
Ah.
Yeah.
Breach,
One point of armor, which is
or 10
which
points
is
of soak.
ship level.
Ow.
Or
Yeah.
Yes,
And
gotcha.
lightsabers have breach 1.
you can actually carve into ship armor.
Gotcha.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
You want ship stats.
Do we need just the one round of initiative?
I can't remember if if it works exactly the same or if each ship is considered
It's
self-contained.
individual.
Yeah, I think each ship is considered
It
self-contained.
would make the
such
most
that-
sense, I would think.
Yeah, we'll do it that way. So the pilot's facing off. So for initiative, I don't think What was the difficult for? What was the difficulty for? What was the difficulty for initiative? It was nothing, right? It was just checked. Okay. So yeah, you check without difficulty.
Vigilance or cool.
Hmm.
Will or presence.
Since you weren't expecting this, I'm gonna hit you with a destiny. Can I give her a purple dice with that?
Sure.
I should be able to.
I'm just taking a look at Starship and Vehicle Combat.
Yeah.
It does say each player character and NPC makes a single check, so I guess if there's multiple things
So
to
you're
do.
giving me.
Yeah, but that's, you know what? That's really.
Do we have extra gunners at all?
Tedious.
Wait, here's the problem. The problem is that while that works with starfighters, that gets crazy with. I'm gonna have to think about whether or not that actually applies. But for now, it's just gonna be pilot against pilot. Maybe I need a second to think about it, because frankly, it might not even be a problem. But yes, you must add a purple to that check.
Well, I guess too. It doesn't necessarily also have to be gunners. It can be people repairing stuff. So
There is
maybe-
that too, yes, and I oh boy, is that ever clunky.
Yeah.
But it may be the way we have to do it.
So this is just for the initiatives?
Yes. So what you're doing is you're checking against either your cool or your vigilance, whichever is highest.
I keep that on cool
Okay.
for now, so
And then you add one purple for difficulty, and then everything else is.
okay, so one success, one advantage, and what was the shield symbol?
That's a disadvantage.
Yes, those two cancel each other out.
With one success.
One success indeed.
And that was just the initiative.
There's the initiative. Yeah.
Next one's going to be the astrogation check.
Okay, well, hang on a sec. For your initiative, you've won, because he came up with 5 advantages. Useless. And now you make the astrogation. Now you make the astrogation check.
Okay, so
So you're sure that's the way it works?
Well, I was just looking at this and stuff, but
and what's the difficulty on this astrogation check?
Well, you're under duress, so I'm going to give you, in addition to everything, a little something extra that. Actually, I'll look it up. Hang on a sec. Okay. It's 2 purple, plus a 1 black.
So I get to ignore one of those blacks don't exist for me because of Galaxy Mapper.
Gotcha. But I do have to start giving you guys back some destiny, so I'm going to upgrade one of your purples to a red.
Okay. So it's effectively one purple, one red.
What's the matter?
Okay, so I started with 1 success, but I don't think I get to keep it. 2 advantage and
2 disadvantage.
disadvantage.
So you keep 1 success.
1 success.
Yeah, one success.
1 success it is. Okay, so it's going to take. It's going to take 4 turns before you can jump.
Okay.
Now You rolled one success and he didn't roll any, so we can reconstruct. We can reconstruct a proper initiative check. So everybody, make an initiative check.
Yeah, what they say is here is in like vessels that have like thousands of your bigger ones.
Yeah.
Anybody who is not doing anything essential to the combat does not get initiative. So, for example, like the janitors who are sweeping the floors, you don't have to track them, but people who are manning guns and things like that.
This is where we ask, does anybody actually have gunnery?
Don't worry about it. If you don't have it, just use the stat.
I'm just curious if anybody's actually good at it or not.
I don't know. I know Mero isn't, and I know Jotano's not.
I presume no. Across the board then.
Basically, who's
What?
got the highest agility then?
Oh, I have a point in cool. So I have a yellow die and a green die to work with.
Yeah, I have base agility too.
I got a
My
three.
agility's 3, but I'm using it all to fly the damn ship. Someone else can deal with the guns.
Dan can use the
I got it.
guns.
I have 3s in most things.
Oh, is it the gunnery roll? Yeah, it's a heavy roll, right?
It's
Oh,
gunnery.
it's gunnery.
It's gunnery. It's its own skill. So I was just seeing if anybody actually had the skill for it, or we're just going to go based on agilities.
Yeah, so from what I can see here, maneuvers are pretty much all pilot only.
Yeah, and given the size of our ship, I've only got 3 of them available to me. All the lovely fancy evasive maneuvers don't work with a ship this size.
They don't. They're not exactly nimble dodgers.
You can accelerate and decelerate.
Yep, you accelerate, decelerate, fly the damn thing.
Fly speed 1, 2 to 4, 5 to 6. What size are we?
5.
Yeah,
So
it's-
basically
It's
everything is.
all the lovely fancy stuff I can't
Budget,
do.
no.
What's the latest heat?
Angle the deflector shields.
He's 4.
4? Okay, so we're comparable at least.
I think he's got more guns than
Sounds like
Now, for anyone who's curious, you guys do have guns. There's a ventral turret and a dorsal turret. It's kind of offset. If you look at the central line, and then there's like a flaring, almost like a cobra's neck behind the pilot, and the ventral turret is up here, and the dorsal turret's down there. You're not really sure why that decision was made, but that's,
Fair enough.
something to be fixed later on.
Anybody in the crew can angle the deflector shields. So we have deflector shields.
We do.
Yeah. So you can reassign power from one zone to another.
Yes. Now, the maximum that can be in any zone for any ship is 4.
4
We can
and
maximize
aft.
our rear shields, basically. as
4
we're
and
running.
after are 3 each.
Well,
Port and starboard are 1 each.
And it's coming at you aft from short range.
so yes, using this maneuver, a crew member with access to the shield controls can reassign up to 1 point of defense from one defense zone to another. For example, a player could control the vessel's forward defense zones with a point from its aft defense zone. This maneuver only works if the ship or vehicle has defense shields that can be reassigned as with deflector shields.
Okay, so I need an initiative from Tobin.
4 advantages.
Alright, so you go before the enemy pilot, but after Vanny. Yand.
2 successes, 1 advantage.
three successes.
You've got like the best initiative so far. Salem.
No successes, 3 advantages.
You go at the very bottom. Woohoo! Or at least that's.
Yeah, there's a spot there.
go. So the first slot is a player slot. What would the now here you don't have to get into the turrets to use the guns. There is a if you ever look at the bridge deck of a consular class cruiser, there are like 4 substations that are divided off by what I guess would be blast doors or light blast doors. Each of those substations are they have at one of those there's 2 seats, and for each seat there's a gun attached to it. So it's done remotely. It's not like in the Millennium Falcon where like the guns are right there. So
Look at me, they got the better agility.
there we go. So what do you want to do?
Which basically, does the pilot want to start off?
What's that?
Does the pilot want to start off?
Yeah, well, this is it. Like, who wants to start?
Alright, I'll start because they're on our ass and we have 4 turns to jump. So I'm going to increase speed so we're going as fast as we can.
Okay.
And
Now, is that an action or is it a maneuver?
It's a minute.
so,
What do you want to do for your action?
guns point out of the front of our ship, right?
You don't have any yet.
It's
Right now you have 2 turrets. That's it.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure in my mind whether they face forwards.
It depends. If someone's like Sassoon put that part in that you wanted to allow you to slave them to your control, but that doesn't make any sense if you've got 2 people willing to use them.
I'm not going to actually use the guns. I'm just wanting to know where I should point the ship.
Oh, well, away from the planet.
Good enough. We're
Rock and roll.
rock and roll. So
So is that everything for you, or
I think so.
okay?
Booting it, break atmo.
You're outside of atmosphere, just so you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I figured that's why it's.
But that's because we had that discussion and no need to have it again.
Yeah. So
All right, now, so 2 more people can go.
I say 2 people who need to shoot guns.
Pretty good then.
We'll start with Gand.
And we'll use a maneuver to enter the weapon station.
Okay.
And I have it. So
This is where that music that goes da 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 da. But I can't find it anywhere in the soundtrack because all the songs are 20 minutes long and they're suites.
because I'll spend 2 strain
Okay.
to get the extra maneuver to aim,
Ah.
and then I will fire.
So you just see you hear him sort of jump into a seat in the compartment, the gunnery compartment behind you, and then you hear him go, and one of the two, blah
Target.
blah 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 blah.
I don't even know who's chasing us.
What do we actually have?
It's an armed. Who cares? I mean, you know.
They threatened us.
Can you give him the information on the linked blaster cannons?
They're on an attack vector, and they threatened us.
That's right. You have something that belongs to me. Oh, and you're on a wagon with lots of guns. We see the Imperial markings? No? Well, it sounds like fair game to me.
It's just a question of whether or not we want to just disable them or actually blow them out of the sky.
Well, it'll be up to him. He's the one doing the shooting.
Because, making more enemies, like, if this happens to be like Jabba's, henchmen and stuff like that coming
Just
after
means
us.
it'll be a while before you come back to tattooing.
Is there a choice? We don't have ion weapons.
No.
Don't look at a blow them out of the sky. Just dissuade them slightly.
Well, the sucking vacuum is a great dissuader.
Yep, basically.
A hole in the hole.
It's a fantastic dissuasion.
Yeah, somebody's going to have a really bad day.
Somebody's going to get the
No, really
Can't
bad.
each other out. Oh, good. Come back.
Lose my dice.
3 successes, no advantage or disadvantage. So that would be 9 damage.
Okay, so 9 damage. Now he's chasing you headlong, and his forward arc has a defensive 2, so that whittles it down to 7. His armor is 4, so that whittles it down to 3. And after all that whittling, you do make the pilot wish he was sitting somewhere else. So after Gand, one more player character. Why don't you pew 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 there? Pew, pew.
I'm gonna spend a destiny point.
You're going to spend a destiny point to do
So I
what?
can upgrade one of my 2 ugly green die to a happy little yellow die. Oh, difficulty.
What was the difficulty I gave to you?
Oh, I was.
It's a short range, so it's
The difficulty is based on the silhouette difference.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Which for us, that's why I asked earlier.
So it's like what?
It's average. We have 2
2
purple.
Yeah, 2 purple.
I'm gonna do what you did.
Within one of each other.
Okay, good.
Spend 2 maneuvers
Get her done.
so I can aim.
So God, you're right beside him now.
Worry about it. I can focus.
Pew pew outside and pew pew inside. Let's put it that way.
It's the same as armor.
Those negate each other. So I'm left with a success and an advantage.
Okay, 1 success. What's the damage for those blasters again?
There are 6.
Okay. Now remember, those are linked. So if you get
If you get advantages, 2 advantages.
2 advantages, if you
can
get 2
trigger.
advantages, you get the additional damage of having fired a second weapon. Is that how that works?
May generate an additional hit on the same target. So
Yeah. So basically,
Yeah,
it does the weapon's damage again. Remember that. Remember that for your advantages.
Only one advantage this time.
But so you got a 1 success, and the damage is 4 for the. What's the damage for the blaster guys? 6. So 7. -2 for its forward defense. It's 5 -4. So that's 1. Still though, better than a kick in the eye.
Depends on who's like.
I hit it! I hit it!
You sure did.
Don't get cocky, kid.
You sure did. You hit it good. You sure did. Okay.
You scratch the paint.
Now, be nice. Be nice.
Now there's less
Goodbye,
paint
it's
for
not
their
nice.
the next time.
Now,
Well, typical of Casey, he's very loyal and, he'll protect you.
the guy working the ion cannons, he lays the pew pew. And give us a destiny point so he can upgrade his Menemina a bit better there.
I think we need to hire a gunner.
I think we need more guns.
Bigger engines.
Then he can't be expected to do everything at once.
Why not?
Oh,
Because I will quit if you expect me to do that, and if you don't want me quitting in the middle of things.
I'll just crawl
Fine.
out. I'll just crawl out on the top of the
And he's
hull,
got.
start
Then he's
pushing
took
the
a
ship.
ship on it.
Get
Oh
on,
gosh!
come on!
that's right. Doki, we're going for a spacewalk. Wear this very sturdy helmet.
Covers
So-
him like from head
So
to
the
toe.
there's a whop whop, but they just pass right over top of you. They don't. It's a failure. He doesn't even. So buddy should uncross his eyes.
He was distracted by that first blaster hit.
Oh, okay. So there's a space now for another player.
They're shooting ion weapons. I was going to man the shields, but what's
that?
the point?
I'll go last in. Well, actually, do they have any other gunners firing?
No, there's
Okay,
only 2
so I'll go
guns.
after the other. I'll go now.
Right.
I don't actually do anything
Gotcha.
because I am sitting at damage control going, oh my god. Let me try to fix. We didn't get hit. Excellent. I don't have to fix anything.
The enemy pilot. Where the hell did the blaster guys come? Okay. The enemy pilot decides to maintain. He speeds up. You've sped up, so he's going to speed up because otherwise that'd be dumb. After him,
Push the match speed. Keep behind.
Cruise control.
after him, it's Chewbacca. Well, because you're the last one around, so.
There's really not much I can do.
All right. Well, then.
It's like I said, I was going to man the shields, but they're firing ion weapons, so that's kind of pointless.
No, they're not just firing iron weapons.
Oh.
No. No, no.
In which case, I will man the shield station. Whatever.
Well, yeah, you can always, as your thing, you can move one of the points from.
Yeah, well, that's what I was
forward
gonna.
to half.
That's what I was gonna do. I was like,
Do it anyway.
yeah.
These guys can't hit anything. Pew pew. And it just passes right past. Wow. All right. Countdown clock is to 3 now. And Vanny, you do a thing. Whatever your thing is. Are you going to? What are
Are
you going
they
to do?
right close on our tail?
It's short. They haven't closed the distance to through short.
Alright then, I'm still booting it.
Okay. Boot it like crazy. Gand! Pew pew! Pew pew!
Too bad there's no targeting systems.
You can put it on the list if you like.
I don't know if they have a game.
I don't think I was about the game. I don't think
I have no idea. This game is so half-assed in some ways. Unfortunate for them, or unfortunate
no, for me. So
Oh no!
Do not blow up our own
Yeah,
guns.
one disadvantage and one success so far. So 1 success, so 7 damage, but we also get a disadvantage.
I don't know what a disadvantage, one lone disadvantage does.
I think it's very similar.
Strain normally, but I have no idea how that rolls over to you.
System strain.
Vehicles
That sounds like
for-
system strain.
If piloting a ship, sudden maneuvers force ship to slow down at speed. The active character loses the benefit of a card maneuver. The character's active ship or vehicle suffers a system strain.
Yes. System strain. 1 system strain.
Good, I get to do something.
Okay.
Ah.
I'm leaning on the trigger a little too hard.
Here we go. So, but you've generated 7 damage,
7 damage, yeah.
which goes to 1 because of the 2 on the forward and the armor and the
Scratch the bait.
Hey, every little bit counts.
Damage is damage.
Can you practice a little fire control, please?
How's that for fire control? Batch. Batch. That's right, batch. Mr. White. To cook some more meth. Batch. Go, Salem.
Apologies. This game is unfamiliar with energy weapons.
That's right, what do you know? I mean, give me a couple of good cannons. That'd take care of business.
I'm gonna spend another destiny point.
Mass drivers, there we go.
Your destiny point.
Aim.
Aim.
And fire.
And fiber.
No, never mind.
Big fat 0.
Failure, net 1 disadvantage. Or 1 advantage, I should say.
Okay, I heard mumble, mumble, mumble. Is it an advantage or a disadvantage?
Advantage.
Okay.
We can recover 1 system strain.
Here we go.
We doing that?
Yes.
Okay then.
Let me just check.
Unless there's another option.
Okay, maybe let's
add a
fuck-
boost to 1 allied active.
See if you flail wildly with this.
Note a single important point in the ongoing conflict, such as a fatal flaw in the enemy ship's course or a weak point on the attacking speeder.
Have a blue die to somebody, or basically.
Actually, you can't recover system strain in vehicle combat.
But I can point out.
If there is such a thing, you could.
He keeps,
Or you could.
he keeps dodging left. Shoot.
That's right. Shoot right.
That was your maneuver? Slowly drifting to the right?
Yeah, add a blue
Slowly
die to the
listening to
next
the left.
allied active character.
Oh my god,
check.
where did he go? He's slowly listening to the left. Oh
Wow,
my
this guy
god.
really knows some maneuvers.
Never expected that.
Okay. So the ion guy is going to fire again.
He's using the dead fish maneuver.
Shut up. Dead fish one. Come on.
So does anybody know if there are actual different weapons qualities for ship weapons than regular weapons? Because I can only find one list.
I think it's the same.
No,
qualities.
no, they aren't. They use the same quality.
But it's at a bigger scale or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
The Ion guy's got to uncross his eyes or something because I think he's unfamiliar with pulling triggers or something because he just can't hit you.
Or, you know, if they're pirates, he might have had a bender last night. He's like,
That's right.
I'm shooting at the right ship, right? No,
He
you're
said,
not
he,
shooting
said
at any ship.
he drank 8 quarts of fermented dewback urine. He's blitzed. He's still drunk. He's upside down in the gutter's chair. That's the problem.
I missed the one on the left. I missed the one on the right. Next time we'll run the center.
So to be, it's your turn.
I can fire with my
It's one whole
toes.
string to play with.
Yep.
Getting a little motion sick here.
There's a sick person. I know I like mother loves me.
Somebody smack the gunner. There's cold water on him.
Pump the chamber full of oxygen. That'll fix him up.
I'm assuming
Give
that
this
the
man an
1
IV
point
of coffee.
strain
Stat.
is less than half the system strains.
Yes!
Otherwise, we're in horrible, horrible trouble. So it is.
Those Corellians
Yeah.
make tough ships, but their feelings are easily hurt.
So I achieved 2 successes and 1 advantage. So let's see what that does. Attempted. So any player who makes a successful mechanics check recovers 1 point of system strain. 1 point of system strain.
Okay.
Now we're recovering.
There we go. Now we're recovering.
So we now have recovered that system?
Yes, now we're cooking with gas. The pilot's action / maneuver is to keep up with you.
Okay.
And now it's Dubaka's turn. What you doing, Dubaka? Fucking the dog. Okay.
Just making sure that the rear deflectors are at max.
Yeah. He's looking at the numbers going. Bitch.
Time for a
It's like-
Java break.
Let's all check in on the station. How you doing? All licenses
Is
operational.
the Wookiee trolling us? He's moving all his shields to the sides.
Ah, that which does not kill you pulls around for another pass. Okay, so
This
after
combat's not difficult enough.
that's right. Wait a minute.
Hey, just
How
remember
do
to
we
include
get-
2 of those giant womp rats.
How do we get one of Mark's games by accident? Whoops. Oh, the guy with the blasters is not going to make you guys happy because he just popped up 3 successes. Oh no. You damage control kids are going to be making your money now. Damage is 4. So here's what you do. We'll start, since it's not ion, and therefore you get your shields. So your shields take
Unless somebody's been beefing them up.
so 3 takes away their successes. They're left only with the 5.
Should be 4. If I was taking 1 point from the front, putting it in the rear.
Were you?
Yeah, that's what I said I was doing. That was my action.
Because the last time I looked at you, you said,
No,
"Ugh."
I said I was angling the deflector shields to make
So
sure.
that's
it was
4. Very
Yeah.
well then. That's 4. That's 4. What's the armor of the ship?
Hope so.
Some value?
I hope we're not flying in a tin can. Ship made of aluminum foil.
May I see the ship, please?
Oh, armor
Sure.
5.
Armor 5?
Yeah.
Let's double check that.
Make sure I'm looking for it.
Right there on the box that says armor 5. Yes, you take no damage.
You get shook around a little bit.
Dang.
And Gog is like tonk. Gog.
This looks pretty well put together.
I wonder where Doki is in all of this.
Doki's back with Sassoon babying the engines. Yeah.
They wanna eat
As a
the
matter of fact, out of
yeah.
the corner of your eye, you see Doki sort of speaking softly to the hyperdrive as he's petting it. Yeah. Yeah, there's some skilled folks you got going on here. It's your turn, Tiny.
Alright.
Gonna paint some rings on it.
Down to
instead.
That's right. Yeah. The proper cast the proper. Yeah.
We're still booting it
You're
out.
still booting it? Okay. Go ahead, Gan.
So we should be down to 2, right? 2 turns.
Yes. Go again. Go
Good
again.
guns. Good gun.
Good gun. Good gun. Tear shoot bang fire.
Bad gun. Bad gun. Very bad gun.
Ooh, dear. Oh my.
Very bad gun.
Oh, fuck.
4 advantages and 3 failures.
Wow.
Ow.
Well, I mean, failures aren't like disadvantages or despairs. You can only fail.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not like the World of Darkness where you can like fail.
It is a hard fail then.
It's a hard
Fire
fail.
shot.
Salim?
Well past it.
Salim?
I will not.
You did get advantages.
Well, he'll look those up. Go ahead.
Same.
Oh, here we
you
go.
got a boost die.
Hey, wait a minute. You want to give...
What I'm going to do, I have 4 of them, right? So, you can have a free blue die.
A free blue die. So
And the targeted character can have a black die
Oh,
on
yeah?
their next check.
Oh, yeah? Okay. All right.
Spend 2 on each.
So the next check is the Ion guy. Couldn't have come at a better time.
nada.
Force them to turn off.
You're not much use to me alive, are you?
Even worse, that was a lot of disadvantages.
Net bupkis.
Net bupkis.
There were 3 disadvantages and 3 advantages.
So our gunners aren't any better than their gunners.
Well, we've hit them a couple of times.
Alright, we're slightly better than
We've
that.
done some aesthetic.
The
damage.
Ion cannon firers. 1
Probably
success,
not
but
a-
1 disadvantage. So the ship takes a strain.
No,
Not your
his-
ship, their ship.
We're going to take some damage.
We have other problems.
Ion weapons do not do damage.
Oh, they do disable
They do
systems?
strain.
Oh.
Yes, they do strain,
Oh, crappy.
However, armor and soak still apply.
but not defense. Not the shield. That's why Ion cannons are your enemy. So.
They just rip up your system strain. Very good.
But let us see. Let us see.
Sorry. Okay.
5 damage. So that is so that's 6 damage. So your armor alone soaks up 5 of it.
1 point of system strain.
Yeah, 1 point of system strain sounds like it to me. So you just got one fuse screwed in, another one, pow! Wow.
This is where one
So,
of the power couplings goes.
1 success, 4 advantage, or net 3 advantages.
Sounds like you regulated the hell out of that strain. Well, she's got a fat ass, but she's tough. That would be the ship, not Angela. Thank you.
And I guess with my advantages, the dude who's going to be actually firing the real guns, he can take a setback.
Oh yeah, Kenny. Okay.
Because I'm spending my advantages now.
But it's a long way to the. Well, that was. The enemy pilot is going to maintain. Dubaka. Dubaka's Lake.
Are just fine.
Dubaka's Lake. Hey. Hey. Disco Dubaka says, hey. Okay.
Pull out the giant Wookiee comb.
Didn't even dent his shield. Okay, so now it's the blaster dude.
Wookiee with a throw pick. Don't get shit.
Nice. A failure. An advantage, but a failure. But he's so damn dumb he doesn't even know what to do that advantage. So it loops back around to Vani. And the clock drops to 1.
Okay, we're still, still running.
Silent running. Less with the silent. You okay?
Yep.
Loud running.
Okay. So, Gant, do something, man. Acquit yourself.
Put me one of those like force things.
Yeah, give him the...
Basket supper.
And then spend 12 more dark ones.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that, see?
I hate this game.
You're good, kid. You're real good. But you're the second best one around here, see?
2 advantages but a failure.
So give him a
Right.
give him an extra boost die.
I got it here, bothering me.
You can get
Wait, no, stay there.
Yeah,
He should
yeah.
shoot things.
Yeah.
That's terrible, Gant. That's awful.
That's
No more fucking screwy mushrooms for you before space fights.
I don't think I'm allowed to use these guns anymore.
I don't think so. All right, Salem, go. Go, Salem, go.
And you get an extra boost.
And you get an extra boost.
Again?
I gave you a blue one. Yeah.
What, are you going to
I had
complain?
advantage, but
The way you've been shooting,
I just can't hit
you'd be better off if you stood in front of the cannon and shot yourself. That'll be over faster.
Success. 2 successes.
hit me, motherfucker.
2 successes.
2 successes, alright, so.
And the advantages and disadvantages cancel.
So 2 successes. So
Oh, no, I take it back. 1 success. Sorry. There's it's hiding. It's hiding.
You still hit him.
One
I
success.
just,
Total damage, can you figure that out? What? No.
I don't
Because
have the sheet in front of me.
you fired the guns 3
6
times already. How many times?
1 is...
Okay, so it's a 7 altogether. -2 from its forward screen, so that's a 5. -4, so that's 1. You guys are. This would be the slowest, most boring combat in the world. Okay. After Salem, it's the Ion guy. Yay, Ion guy.
Starship combat means something to be desired.
Well, I don't know.
We're also dealing with people who aren't really all that.
It's true. None of us are
skilled
good at this
space.
stuff.
Yeah, you want to take on a swarm of TIE fighter minions? We can do that.
Nope. Don't want it.
I sense the shutting up with the Force idea.
Yep.
No, sir. Don't like it.
Fix the freedom.
3 successes and a disadvantage. So
They take another strain. Wow.
that's right. 1 more strain for them. Ah, take a strain. See a strain.
So if I got 1 before and I got 1 point in.
All right. So 13 strain from them, and then that's 8 -5 for your armor. So that's 3 system strain. You have to work for a living next turn. Well, next
If
turn.
only successes actually were awesome.
If only successes actually were awesome.
Because I got 5 successes.
Wow.
And I still only healed 1 system
We
strain.
still love you. Okay, so
That?
1. Yeah. Okay. So there we go. The enemy pilot is going to maintain. Dubaka. Dubaka is like. He's
Just sitting there with a
Democrat
cup
all
of
the time.
calf.
You know, with his legs are spread apart and Doki's underneath him dancing. It's like just like Gangnam style, you know. Okay, so now the blaster guy.
I'm sorry. I just had the image of Doki.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Dubaka style. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, so. Yes, sirree, kids. Yes, sirree. Oh, jeez. The blaster guy got 8 total damage, but 2 disadvantage. These guys are a bigger menace to themselves than. So, but 3 comes off from the rearward deflectors. 4 comes off from the rearward deflectors. 5, nothing. Does nothing. Bounces off the hull. Whatever.
Oh, there's a scratch that Mero can fuss over.
That's right. Oh, yeah, quite. And
Counter takes to 0.
gets to 0.
Yep. And there we go.
And suddenly, you're in hyperspace. And you look over, and Mero is in the co-pilot seat. He's got his hands hooked under the. Are we safe?
Yep.
Well, I mean, you can walk away from him, right?
Well, it's a new experience.
So,
Interesting.
so everybody just sort of, I don't know if you stay in your pilot's chair, but everybody just sort of filters back to the meeting area.
Once I've done a general check for stuff, it's sort of like, okay. Right. I'm gonna go talk to Toby, find out how the ship's holding up. That's what it says our system strain was at the end of the battle when I hit hyperspace.
Yeah, we're only 2 points out.
Sassoon comes over, looks at the displays, looks at you. You've done well. And then, yeah, sort of Doki sort of walking after him, pats you on the thigh. I think, Chuk-Chuk. Chuk-Chuk. Chuk-Chuk.
You haven't thrown anything out. You haven't checked anything away.
Chuk-Chuk. Meryl walks over. Hey, Doki, y'all hungry? Reaches into his bag.
Oh God! No.
I hope you don't try and kill the poor ass.
Oh, she said it
To us.
It's a human. It's a humanoids. Yeah.
he's a Jawa, right?
Yeah. He puts his hand against your knee to steady himself. Thunk. His other head goes poke. His head goes poke against your knee, and then he slides down to the floor unconscious.
Pick him up, put him on a bed,
Put him on gonk.
put him on gonk.
Go to our rendezvous, get our fat pay.
I assume we're still on schedule.
Oh yeah, yeah. Record time. Marrow transmits a coded signal, and he's given a rendezvous. He feeds the coordinates for that rendezvous to you. You make the adjustments,
Okay.
and then he holds up the Shurin crystal.
I could sell that for it if you want, but
But what?
well, it'd be difficult. Avoiding, trade tariffs
He tosses it
and
to you.
records.
I'll trust you.
What's your underworld skill?
Well, he invented underworld skill. All right, so you guys get cash money of 500 credits, and everybody gets I don't know, 10 XP. Cash. I'll just stick this on. Money. Okay, so Adam makes a very interesting point when it comes to when we game next. Adam has gone to a great deal of trouble to get certain set days off. He does not work at a job where it's always easy to plan his time, and once he has planned his time, he needs it pretty much to be the way he said it was going to be. So, unfortunately, we don't have the option of just picking it up next week. So we're going to have to basically wait 3 weeks because Dan has to work 2 weeks from today. And while, I don't know what happened to Steven, I guess he's dead. But yeah, so I will get on the calendar tonight or soon after and push back the date that we game, and that'll be that. But wait a minute. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know. So that means the 1st of November, I think. Yeah, because it would be the 18th. No, wait, 2 weeks from...
2 weeks from now is the
25th.
25th, and then...
the 2nd?
It would be November 1st.
Would it be? Yeah, okay. So, I'll double check that, and I will send through email...
Okay, I'll look at my email.
I had an idea about
Makes me a crazy person.
how to deal with hyperdrive stuff if you wanted to do it. Like you were trying to.
I kind of like my way, but if you have a better way, I'll listen.
No, I don't know. I thought you were still coming up with an idea for that.
A forum topic
All right.
that Gus and I used for discussion along with a telephone call to come up with what we were using today. You can take a look at that and see what you think of it and add yours. I think that's also where first mention of Kairos